be nice to have access to, my character sheet and stuff.
That's an advantage, I hear.
Because I think I have some XP I want to spend.
If you have time to.
Well, yeah.
Because we don't know what will happen. You'll need a quarter day of nothing dramatic happening.
I'm sure I can squeeze it in at some point. And I have to go through this session, I'm without my pride, and then next session, my new one will kick in.
Exactly, yeah, that's how it works. Yeah, that was the first time for us that happened. Had to happen sooner or later somewhere. It's the nature of rolling dice.
Well, my dice luck being what it is, it was bound to happen.
Your dice luck is like mine.
Yeah.
I must have told you about all my Delta Green and Call of Cthulhu monsters and just how rotten luck. So many times I'd be like, yep, these players are toast now. These characters are dead. And then, nope, they're not. Because fumble, or they roll a crit just when they need it, or things like that.
Yeah.
See, I have the reverse luck. I always seem to get the crit just when I need it. For whatever reason.
See,
I've been the bane of Josh's existence every time he tries to DM me. Yeah. No, even then. Like, today, when I got the 2, just when I needed it.
Are live. Sorry, I have to unmute everyone. There we go. Now, okay, we are live, and I should not. How do I unmute everyone? You should be able. There you go. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. We had a session that was not our session. It was a time slot for the con Gehenna Gaming was running, so we are back with Forbidden Lands on our regular time slot, and it's lovely to be back. Quick presentation of everyone, I suppose. How about we start, as always, on the left hand of my overlay screen, which is Josh.
Hey folks, Josh LaPointe playing the the Brainar Frailer.
Indeed.
Jessica LaPointe playing Frida, the bloody demon slayer wolfkin.
More blood there will be.
Always.
Not sure who's next, but I'm Chris, and I am playing Soren, the human forester, who will hopefully have better luck than I did last time.
Michaela McNeil, I'm playing Vig, and hopefully, I get a little nicer every day.
Big is perfectly charming with an empathy of 6. That's what you are, really. That's just naturally so. Mike B will be with us shortly with the half-elf celestial passage. There is no conflict at all between the Elven Spring half-elves and the Frailer half-elves, right? Right, we know this. This is known. So, what did we do last session? It's been a month. We're back. First of all, of course, as always, a shout out to Hellhag Productions, who designed overlays and most of the maps. Though this particular map of Westport I designed, to be honest. But I did it on her computer when she wasn't looking. Well, she was looking. So, last session. Oh, right, and this show is rated R. This is fantasy meets Western if it was directed by Quentin Tarantino. So, expect maybe not too much mercy in this world. Lots of terrible people. Who knows? Maybe this group will be the exception sometimes. Or not. So, last session, you made your way through the forest, the Dankwood forest. And yes, indeed, Soren had a streak of bad luck guiding this group through the wilds and ended up spraining his ankle as well as losing his pride, which, for those who haven't played Forbidden Lands, is a mechanic that allows you to be a specialist in one particular area for the character. So that means that he's not having his pride backup resource this session, as he's reevaluating his life goals, maybe. Yeah, took a bit of a hit to his pride last session.
A wee bit, but I'm so full of willpower now.
I bet. This was true. There was a session of rerolls, so that's the upshot with the Year Zero engine. That, yeah, sometimes it's going to cost you, but on the other hand, exactly. And you have been questing, of course, going from the Dankwood towards. You're looking for the Eye of the Rose. You know roughly where it should be. You have a mission to meet up with some Red Runners over there and see if you can abscond with an Elven Ruby, if it is indeed an Elven Ruby that is supposed to be there. But we're only halfway to the Eye of the Rose. You made it through a wedding party. There was also, before you got to the wedding party, a very insulting orc. But yeah, there was a wedding party, and there was a scuffle at the wedding party, and you at least managed to fill up your food. And so I think you're probably full with in terms of your backpacks with food and water or ale, as it may be, after that feast. And then there was a scuffle there, and you simply strategically sort of melted out of the crowd when they started fighting each other. Then you got to Westport, the village where you are now. Apparently the guards recognized Frida, at least. She is easy to spot in a crowd. And Big was basically talking your way through the gate, asking some questions about to anyone she might meet about Elven Rubies and Eye of the Rose and whatnot. And you got to the Rump and Lantern, the tavern, one of the taverns, the one that the guards advised you to go to. And that's where you are now. Evening on the 19th of Spring Rise. And you've booked yourself into that tavern. That's where we're left off.
I'm not sure we can call it a tavern if it's a dry town, but whatever.
As much. At least it's not, a barn with
Water
leaking.
hole.
Place where you can get some good milk.
Yeah, and lots of herbal tea as well. They have that. Exactly.
Right. Well, I don't know about you folks, but I need to get some weight off this ankle. So
Yeah, I think it's probably best that we crash for the evening.
Indeed. Yeah. So up to your rooms. I think you booked one room for everyone, right? That's what you did.
oh, it's what we can afford.
Is what you can afford. So, and that's easy and straightforward enough. It's not a big room at all. It's really, you can cram yourselves into it. There's a couple of beds in there. I'm sure you can make do with straw and all sorts of other improvisations to create makeshift beds and bed rolls on the floor. It's not going to be a soft sleep at all, but it will be a sleep, and it will be indoors, and maybe you don't even need to have guards and whatnot, or maybe you do.
Still beats being out in the woods. That's all I'm saying.
There we go.
Frida
Speak
will
for
just-
yourself.
Frida will curl up on her fur blanket as close to the fire as possible.
I can believe that.
Rainer, I'll take watch.
Okay. There we go.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to crash hard.
Yes, it's been a long, long day for you, for sure. Exhausting, probably mentally, if nothing else. Hi, B. Welcome back. We just started.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Everybody's crashing in the tavern room that you rented.
That's nothing new.
Indeed. Yeah, so there you are in your tavern room, and apparently Brenner is taking watch. I think some people were in need of some heals, if I recall correctly. Let's have a
I thought Brennar was on that list.
look.
I'm fine.
Big is fine as far as I can tell. Brenner, he could use a bit of rest for his agility.
Yeah, I need rest.
Celestial is fine. What's wrong with you, Celestial? How are you fine? I mean,
Well, I didn't walk into a tree this game.
this is true. Frida does need some rest for her agility as well.
I'm not paying attention to anybody. I'm just crashing hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know you're on the sleep list.
Yep.
That's why I picked up a bag full of oranges just in case.
You did have your critical
Doubles is
injury. You
condom.
haven't. I noticed that you haven't written down how long the healing time for that one was.
It's 3 days.
Yeah.
It's
Down there.
yeah, it's down at the bottom under notes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because there is another field there for critical injuries. That's okay.
Oh,
Good.
is there?
Yeah, it's just
Huh?
under the stats, over the weapons.
Ah, not bad.
Excellent.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
I mean, we
just
can
put
still
three
do
with
it, but that just means like you'll get 4 and I'll get 2.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, Brenner, if you want to roll the scouting roll, then start the
Yep.
rolls for tonight. If
Yep,
anyone is
that's
attacking
probably
you,
how my evening's going to
you
go.
are going to get ambushed.
I'm gonna push that.
Fair enough. You are going to get yourself a willpower point, sir. Clearly, the long
Yay.
day of walking through the forest has left you affected as well, and you're sitting there and almost slumbering, but not enough to actually get rested, but just enough to not be able to pay attention should anything bad befall you. Luckily this night nothing bad befalls you. So if someone sees Brennar almost sleeping on his post, there might be some trouble between you, but apparently nobody did because there's a lot of snoring and sleeping deeply in this tavern room. Which will make us do the first weather roll. Who wants to do a D12?
Good luck.
There we go. Mm-hmm. That gives us a... Oh, alright. Okay. It doesn't have a 1 on this table just because of that. Can you roll it once more? I think they might have as a 2d6, but whatever.
They never accounted for my bad luck.
Exactly. Can you roll it again? Because apparently there's no 1 on this one. It must be up that way. Okay, that's okay. I'll just do it like this, and we got a slight rain, overcast, but also sun.
That's
So-
a good spring day.
Yeah, it's a good spring day, exactly.
Yeah.
Basically a day locally around here.
Yes, and unlike what you heard out in the forest where you were woken up by birds as they were woken up and singing in the treetops, here you were woken up by roosters who are also birds but make considerably more noise as they wake up.
Damn, I hate civilization.
And of course, shortly after they have made their morning calls, people start waking up, and then they make noise. Speaking of civilization. And so the day starts. And
Morning already? Oh,
Mm-hmm. Brainard is a tired man.
What do you mean morning already?
didn't you hear the roosters?
Yeah, I have this sudden craving for chicken for breakfast.
You could get it downstairs at a cost.
I'm sure that there's some morning fry happening.
Rations it is.
Rations.
Here you go. Frida opens her backpack and just starts handing out food.
Backpack.
It being early morning, you will very soon see the local fishermen go down to the piers, which is just next to you, and start working with their boats and getting ready to cast off and do their labor for the day.
Alright. Well, we should probably head out if we're gonna meet up with the others.
I was just gonna say, weren't we supposed to go catch a boat?
Yep. So let's get
Yeah.
a move on.
Alright, is there anything that we need in town while we're here? Because we may not see civilization for a bit.
Are we all well stocked with food, water, everything?
Yeah, we stole a bunch from that. I mean, we equipped at that wedding.
Liberated.
Liberated. I mean, they had a lot. It was just going to go to waste.
It's literally what a party's for where I come from. You always take leftovers with you. Call it a doggy bag?
I don't think you can call it leftovers if it was, like, near the start, but...
Is it racist to call it a doggy bag if you're part wolf?
Not if I do it.
Oh, I see. Right. So we don't need to stock up on anything, I don't think, then.
Nope. So I guess we probably can just make our way down.
Okay.
As you're getting ready to make your way down, you're sort of opening the door, getting into the hallway, and there's someone standing there. She's dressed in a mud-stained gray cloak. She has high, sort of leathery riding boots. Walks with a bit of a limp. She's about 50 or so human. Sword at her side. She's looking about, and then she looks towards you, and her eyes squint a little bit. Say, he's a bit of a hoarse voice, that one. Excuse me. And she's looking towards Frida. You wouldn't be the Demon Slayer by any chance, would you?
Maybe. Depends who's asking.
She's looking around a little bit. Could we have a word in your room?
I guess
Feel free
so.
to bring your friends if you want.
I intended to.
Will our be special?
I'll gesture for her to come into the room.
Yep, no, she'll follow you for sure.
Okay. What can I help you with?
Hopefully a lot. Yeah. She's looking around a little bit, just checking the door once more, and then closing it, and then checking ever so slightly around the windows. Whoever has the best insight here? Best insight here? I think that's the Celestial Passage, yes? The goodest? It's a thing now.
There we go. That's certainly
Yeah,
not me.
I'm hovering at 6.
It's always the elves.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not the potential casual relationship with my mentor / fellow druid. I can actually see things.
Exactly. Well, thanks for taking some time. My name is Gertrude.
Hello, Gertrude.
I work for Adwald. He's the local lord in these parts.
Does your service have you concerned?
Yes. This place, it's a den of thieves. You wouldn't know it by the looks, but it sure is. Heard about your arrival. Rumor spread. Demon Slayer. We could use someone like that. We have some trouble with bandits locally. They break the law completely all the time. But the local magistrate here in town, he's in their pocket, see? So we could use someone who's not necessarily known around these parts, who might be able to, well, shut them down. There's 2 taverns here. They say serve herd liquor, smuggle in things, hold the people here in complete terror. Mayor's in their pocket, magistrate, everyone.
You said there's a place here where I can get liquor?
It could just be the code word to get access to their illicit gains.
Not certain knowing where we can get liquor is the takeaway from this.
Well, we're prepared to pay you well. We're stopping these thugs. There's actually 2 gangs. They're tearing this place up at night.
When do we have to be to the other place?
A couple days ago.
Yeah, nobody said any official time as such, but yes, the impression was go straight there. Yeah, I think so. Though who knows with elves, right? Their timekeeping can be a bit special, maybe.
On the other hand, odds are we're probably going to need coin at some point along this journey.
Alright.
We've already made plans, though. To
Well,
So, tell us more about these rampart bandits that needs to be disposed of.
well, there's 2 gangs, as I said.
Yes. You guys do the negotiating and then just point me in the direction of things to kill.
So, these gangs are both led by dwarves. They're centered. Both of their base are out of, well, they look like ordinary farmhouses or townhouses here, but they serve the hard stuff in there, and they bring it in, bribe the guards to do so. One of them is Wolfred Rockhart. He's a Merimanian. And the other is Hamheld Underdeep, canine dwarf.
Can I ask you a question? Why is your town a dry town? To start with.
It's, well, the Count Adwell wants us all to lead a virtuous, rich lives, and, that stuff does bad things to people's minds. Better to keep it out. That's his word, anyway. I'm just one of his servants. The law is the law, no?
So, does the local lord... Does the local lord actually know that you're here performing negotiations to facilitate dealing with these?
Oh,
Or is
sure.
this something that you've taken on?
No, he sent me, but he didn't want to attract attention by riding into town himself.
These 2 gangs, are they in cahoots or are they opposing sides?
No, they fight each other every chance they get. One side finds out about a shipment from the other side. They are on each other's throats. We try to keep track of them as best we can. Stop their shipments whenever we find them. But, they're sly. And we only have so many men. It's harder when most of the town is on their side. In their pockets.
So how much gold are we talking?
Well, the way I understand it, adventurers these days, how would 2 silver a day per person sound to you?
It doesn't quite cover the fact that we do have pressing matters that have been calling us elsewhere.
You know, if y'all just legalized the liquor and then taxed it, they really wouldn't have a leg to stand on. that might be a better option.
That's
Because we
religion,
can-
though.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, it's the religion.
Oh.
It's a
Well,
matter
then
of
should
faith
they have
as
a
well
choice?
as propriety.
Should they have a choice then?
Not if it's a state religion. It's common across many territories to have a theocracy.
But they do have a choice. They can live here or not.
They can live outside the walls.
As
Yeah.
as the lore masters in the group, which would be Celestial Passage and Brennar, I would think. Just double check. Brennar has some lore. Celestial Passage. Yeah, at least Celestial Passage. You can't recall any god who would have forbidden the drink of these things, so it would be a local interpretation at least.
I mean, clearly regional, but pure humans have done that for generations.
Yeah, there's all sorts of different cults and sects and branches of the faiths and the worship of the gods everywhere, for sure. So that wouldn't be... but it's totally possible to worship, any of these gods without having such a ban, of course. Yeah, there you go.
This just seems like the more peaceful solution to me. I don't know.
But to Celestial Passage's point, we have already made in a previous agreement with, frankly, people that would go ahead and pay us more, both from a morale perspective and from a coin perspective. No offense, Gertrude.
Yeah, if this was the sort of thing, I think, where it was like, hey, take the morning, go crack some skulls, put the fear of whatever god they believe in some gangs and ride off into the sunset. But I don't think it's the sort of thing that we want to spend days doing.
No, this is the sort of thing that's gonna take time, and we're gonna have to literally beat our way through the gangs.
Yes, we have to uncover them and then root them out and then tear out the vine.
Possibly after... Oh, go ahead.
I'm just saying, why don't we just start doing it? Finish our pressing matters, come back and finish it, collect both rewards.
Because you
Yeah,
can
we
start
can
it
come
and
back.
wind up having them dig in and get worse while we're gone.
Are you?
As they have
That's gonna
incentive
happen
to improve
regardless, though.
themselves. If we attack them, they have incentive to hire more arms and get better weapons.
Are you
So-
going far?
Couple of days journey, I think. But Soren, you probably could tell better.
Yeah, a couple days, and then I don't know how long we're going to be doing that. I mean, we could circle back this way afterwards.
It is technically on the way both ways.
The gangs have a good thing going, so it's not like they're going to like pull up stakes and leave, especially if they don't know that anybody's onto them.
You can be sure of that. We do need some extra hands from outside to be able to deal with these ones.
Yeah, we can deal with this when we get back through.
Appreciate that. Very good. Well,
So in the interim, when we do arrive back, how do we get in contact with you without starting alarms? Or just stay here and you'll find us?
I think that's the best way. I
That
come by
sounds
here.
reasonable.
I'm the seneschal and messenger of the Count. I go here often to check up on compliance and whatnot. With,
Besides, let's face it, I apparently set off alarms as soon as I walked through the gate.
Yeah,
So,
you did.
Well, we can just make sure that when we come back on our way through that we just stay at the same tavern and that she can just check in like every day or so to see if we've shown up.
yeah.
or every second day. I'm not quite here every day,
Yeah.
but certainly every
Yeah.
second day I'll be here.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Gods protect you on your travels.
And you as well.
Maybe with you.
Sure.
I'll leave now, and you can leave a bit after if you want.
All right.
Shouldn't be seen together. And she sort of stands up, listens at the door for a moment or two, and then quickly just slips through the door and opens the
As
door.
the door's
slips through.
open, it's like, of course we're compliant. We're not going to ignore local laws. Not loudly, but enough that's conversational.
And she kind of slips out through opens the door as little as possible, slips out, and is out the door and closes it behind her.
Well, that was either interesting or a trap.
I'm not sure I agree with enforcing a law that I don't agree with.
First, they're paying us.
Don't think
That's
of it as
beside the
enforcing a
point.
law. Don't view it as enforcing the no liquor law. Think of it as we're dealing with smugglers and thieves. The
Guess
liquor
so.
law is a side effect of it, since you seem focused on the alcohol and not the rest of it.
Civilized people do shitty things to one another. We just get coin out of it.
I'm sure that if it was simply a matter of someone operating a speakeasy, it wouldn't have been, oh hey look, there's a demon slayer and a bunch of adventurers. Maybe they'll deal with it.
Probably. The whole thing just felt wrong to me, I guess. I don't know. Call it wolf's intuition.
As a general
Oh, she's very on edge and paranoid, so
Yeah.
something else is up as well.
people like us don't get hired unless people have died.
Yep. Alright, let's go catch a boat.
Yes.
So, down you go, finally, to the main hall. You'll again be able to see the other adventurers that you met last night. The ones who talked about some place called Weatherstone. They're having breakfast by one of the tables. You will notice that Gertrude has gone by there, exchanged a few words with them, and then is heading out the door.
I just want to point out that if we took this job, we could afford breakfast.
I just want to point out, I've already fed you.
Yeah, but we could have like bacon and eggs, not like day-old deer jerky.
I just want to point out that you were brought on here to, protect us through the woods and potentially provide us for breakfast, like capturing animals, things like that.
I'm
All alive, aren't you?
simply
For
going
now.
to put in here that when we come back, we are already on the first day of our job and should be compensated for it.
Oh, good
That's
point.
why I pointed out the longer it takes us to finish this job, the more we're going to get paid for our expenses.
Now let's roll.
So, you leave the tavern. Can I have a scouting roll by Frida, please?
Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
That's disconcerting, but sure.
You have to. Your wolf senses might show something.
Seeing as Frida has the worst scouting, I doubt it. I have wolf's intuition, not wolf senses.
Well, that's a low-level power on the general werewolf tree. You should pick that up.
Bitten by a radioactive wolf.
How do I take that off? Yeah, I'll fix it later. Scouting. There it is.
That's a success.
Hey,
about
look at that. I did the thing.
You did the thing. The question
So
is...
what do I smell?
And
Yeah,
pray,
exactly.
and pray we don't change the deal again.
Wow.
No.
Uh-huh. Okay, you are heading out the door, and then Frida will... I don't know if she'll stop or not.
I'm assuming I smell something. Oh. Oh. Okay.
So you watch Mikael take advantage of individual chat.
Yep.
knows how to swim, right?
Yes.
Wait, what?
How to swim before we get on a boat?
Not really well, but I can fish.
I'm sure that'll come in handy when you're drowning.
Alright, time for drowning checks.
Hold on to a fish really tightly, and hopefully it, jumps into the boat.
Maybe.
Or it swims to
brainer.
the shore.
Frida, are you coming?
This.
Just shut up for a minute. Frida's like sniffing the air. She smells something familiar. Oh, god damn. We need to get out of here. We need to get out of here now. Frida like puts her hood up and just bolts for the nearest boat. We need to go.
Well, we have a specific boat. It's over
There-
here, though.
Okay,
that
well,
would,
we need to go now.
That would bring it closer to them.
Is there no... Can we find another boat?
Just cut through the alley. We don't need to take the main road. We're not carrying a cart or anything.
Yeah, it can just literally go down like
Okay,
here
I will... Let's cut through the alley then.
and then go across.
Yeah.
We can just go this way. It's like two guys walking up the street.
But no,
I'm
they're
gonna
gonna
use.
smell me.
Let's see now. I don't have a
Well, it's
good.
because you didn't bathe.
I don't have a good symbol for this because it's hard to find those. But I'll use. What can I use? This is not too terrible. No.
If it's not Frida, I'm gonna roll animal handling.
I'm trying to find a good mini that I could use for this.
I mean, they haven't seen her yet, so.
Exactly. I'll put them over there. They're not actual kobolds because there are no kobolds in this game. 3 of them. Wolfkin.
We need to move.
So you're gonna move over to that side?
Yeah, I'm gonna duck through an alley or something to just get away from them to see if maybe they pass by or.
Yep. No, I'm gonna. Yeah. Does anyone want to move the party token?
Not under my control.
Oh, isn't it?
Nope.
Yeah. No, I don't have it either.
Okay.
No.
It should be all players. Okay.
An overlay, maybe?
No, it
Yeah,
should
might
be
be wrong.
controlled
Yeah, I
by all
can't move
players.
it. I cannot move it.
You may have
Well,
not put it on the
I
token layer.
probably put it on the background layer. Oh, yeah, I put it on the background layer. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
And now,
It's a good thing
there we
there's
go.
a few of us that have been here before.
Yeah, there we go. So, there you are. Now you can move it. So, back at the house with that scouting roll I made for them. You get away this time. Now, the tricky bit is, of course, to get up to the boats, which are all in these areas.
Is there a roundabout? There's a roundabout way we can take maybe.
Between the buildings.
Yeah, possibly. I'll give you the weakest in the group. You get to roll a stealth with a +2 for all the houses and people.
Check what my stealth is, because it might be me.
Currently mine's 2.
5.
I think it's
Yeah.
Big or
Did-
Brenner.
I say mine's 5 because I do have agility. I'm not an old man.
Oh, if it's agility based, my stealth is probably fine then. Yeah, my stealth is like a 4.
And I think it's Big or Brenner at like 2, 3. Big has 3. Brenner has
2 is what
2.
Josh was saying.
Okay, it's me.
So 4. You get to add 2 dice.
Just gear dice, sure.
No, it's skill dice.
Okay.
Circumstantial skill.
who are we trying to avoid?
Just some people from my past. I don't really want to talk about it right now, okay? Can we just go?
Apparently they smell.
Yeah, if I can push that, I will, and I'll go down to
You
1
can
agility.
indeed.
Trust me, I would recognize that goddamn scent anywhere.
Bad times.
So are these like they want to talk to you or they want to kill you?
They want to club me over the head and drag me back to a cave.
And then do
Oh.
things.
Well, they're not
And
likely
then-
to try anything in town.
Oh.
Whew.
Exactly.
Well, we can. Brainar has one now, at least.
Yep. I'll roll the scouting again.
So,
Nice.
You're lucking out.
so just to confirm, Mikael, is since I got a skull on one and then passed on the second, I know I get the willpower from the skull, but do I take the hit to the agility?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Because it was one of your base dice that had the skull. So. Yep, right now you are in pain, old man.
Would it be feasible to use survival to cover our scent and track?
Yes, normally. Now this time you're lucking out that the wolfkin haven't spotted you, but of course they, like all wolfkin, do have the hunting instinct, so all they would have to do is use those willpower points, and then they'd be
As
on
soon
your
as they
tail.
pick up my scent, they track me.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I was still wondering if we could break scent at least.
Yeah.
but you can move your party token to where you want it now. You've snuck between houses. There you go. Yep. And of course they will move. You're watching them move, and they're definitely not hiding or anything, and they're going up towards the tavern.
Oh.
And
Well, it's a good thing
inside.
the tavern's the darker roofed building at the bottom corner. Gives
And,
us
yeah,
time to get on a boat and get away from dock.
and they
Yes.
they
That
go
wasn't
in
the
there
tavern.
for now.
That's a house.
Oh right, yes, you're right. That's where the tavern is.
It's like, oh no, they're attacking lords now. Let's use the confusion.
So yes, they went into the tavern. And you rush out onto the pier to talk to a local fisherman as best as you can.
Get us on the boat.
I guess this is where Beeg steps up to have a chat with someone.
Yeah, so I would definitely approach the wharf master, fisherman, whatever he is.
Yeah, you
yeah.
don't even know if they have a structure like that here. It's
Just the guy in charge of the boat.
yeah, exactly. They're
You, aquatic person.
they'll be looking up and
Steve Sisu?
they'll be looking up.
yeah, so
Huh?
definitely ask if we can get lease of a boat. Might not give it back, but I definitely want to rent it.
Well, we could probably get them to sail us over there without
I'm not
stealing
gonna
the
let
damn
you
boat.
rent my boat, young lady. Where do you want to go? I might be able to take you there if you pay well.
Where are we
enough.
going again? Like just across the river, right? Yeah. Just across the
Yeah.
river. That's all
Yeah,
we're
to
going.
the other village.
Well, if we go back, I can put the map back on here. So, right now you're up there, and you can either just go across the river and truck through the mountains, or you can go to this village. And
Yeah, I thought our goal was to try and sail to that village, which is what we'd planned on.
it might be.
Yeah, so just the next village, you probably have. Actually, I have an idea. You're a fisherman, obviously. Not that I can smell or tell that, but you know, you're a gentleman who needs to sell their wares. I'm pretty adept at selling things. We can work out a bargain. Yeah, I can try and sell your stock, your inventory, whatever this is around me, and you know, at the next town over, you might be able to double your money because just down the street sometimes it's exotic food.
Well, I don't know. Never met you before. Let's roll a manipulation there. Because that's clearly one thing, you know, you have to fast talk him into this. With him never having met you before.
Totally trustworthy. What are you talking about?
Well, see, young lady,
Would you like
I've
to
never
push that
seen you
roll?
before. And, to be honest, young lady, we had, ourselves a sorcerer that was a halfling. Strung him up by the neck, we did. So,
Oh, but see, I'm a demon slayer, and I can vouch for this one.
Ooh, do we have a reputation roll? Is that what we're having here?
That's totally what we're doing.
Yes. Yes, as unfortunate as it's going to be, like, now there's a trail once they get back here.
I am probably never coming back here.
You can roll your reputation if you want. That might help.
Coming back here in like a week to deal with bandits.
Because your reputation does help with manipulation. I can, in fact,
Oh,
yeah.
can I push that?
no, you can't.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
He's just never heard of you. You don't have that much. You're young and you don't have that much reputation just yet.
Yeah.
Never heard of. Otherwise, that could have given you an extra die for Big's manipulation. Then we have if Big wants to push it or not. I'll make a deal with you this way. You pay your way across in my boat here. That could work.
How much is the fare?
Well, you see, normally I sell a good deal of fish every day. And I'd have to be compensated for not bringing in the haul, wouldn't I?
Yeah, we're looking at probably about half a day there, half a day back. So
Do you have the capacity to store a hull for that extra little bit of time? We could work our way across. There's more than a few of us trained in the ability to fish.
Yes.
Well, that changes things. How about a silver for the lot of you?
I look towards the people that actually have money.
Or Big could push the roll.
So yeah, let's see if I can try and push that then.
You do that.
Where's your miscellaneous -1 coming from at the moment?
Should Big have a -1?
Yeah, because it says -1 on that roll check.
Oh, that shouldn't be there. Let's remove that. Yeah, that makes more sense, doesn't it? Well, it worked anyway. Yeah, you managed to convince. So what's your next argument here, if you will? You're gonna manage to convince the fisherman. Big, what would your next line be?
You know, I'd probably say, you know, we travel with these because it's after Frida had introduced herself. It's
Yep.
like, well, we travel with these well-armed, you know, crusaders. It would be such a shame if something were to happen to your vessel, and you know, you could use some protection traveling to the next city. Maybe we can take care of some merchants that are hassling you.
Well, I suppose you're right about that one. The Red Dale, that's a nest of thieves if ever there was one. Well, alright then. If you can help me do some fishing, and I'll settle for 5 copper for the lot of you, 1 each. That'll just about break it even, I suppose.
Rainer, I'll take it out of his pocket and pay the 5 copper.
you've had this interaction. You've talked to the fisherman, and you're getting into the fishing boat. He's starting to prepare the sail. We'll probably notice that none of you know too much about boat handling, unless survival would work for that, which it kind of does.
I thought Brainer has fishing, doesn't he?
I have fishing, I don't
He
have
does.
sailor.
Yeah, no, but sailor isn't a skill as such. It's under survival, so that's
Okay.
going to help Celestial and Soren, I guess.
While they're negotiating, I'm just going to keep an eye up and make sure that those wolfkin don't come upon us while they're chatting.
Yeah, I guess Celestial should roll for that, because if you're the lookout, the party lookout typically, unless Soren wants to.
Well, I'll probably, if Celestial's not involved in the negotiation, I'll just kind of be like, let's keep an eye open just in case.
Yeah. And
Yeah, my involvement I could have tossed over my shoulder while watching.
exactly. With the looking glass, I'm not entirely sure that the looking glass is terribly appropriate here because the distances involved.
Well,
are
it's
not...
still one without.
Well, and also, yeah, yes, you would have. And also, I guess you could use it to look very closely on the door of the tavern.
That's why I was thinking. I'm watching the door of the tavern the whole time.
And sure enough,
Frida just looks super anxious to get on the damn boat.
they are coming
Like-
out of the tavern. But they still haven't seen you because I still rolled terribly for their scouting roll.
Even Brainard would never have seen her this terrified. She's scared.
You will get a decent look at them by now as they're coming out. One is an older wolf, if you will, with carefully made braids adorning his head. He's wearing a longbow, and that's really his only weapon other than a dagger. Another one is must be a fighter, dressed in chainmail and with a huge bearded axe, just walking around. It's almost using it as a staff as he's walking. And the third has both a broadsword and a short bow. Possibly hunter? Who knows? This wolfkin has more sort of blondish gray fur, and has painted a great big red patch over one of the eyes. Maybe it's war paint, something like that, maybe.
Oh, I could put an arrow into his eye from here if we wanted to.
I suppose you could try.
I'd rather not draw the attention to ourselves.
It is in range.
I'd rather just leave.
Yeah, so the fisherman is fixing to leave, and you're getting into the boat, and I'm gonna guess that huge Frida will do her level best to just lie down at the bottom of the boat, hide away out of sight.
She lies down and like covers her head with her cloak, so she just kind of looks like a bundle at the bottom of the boat.
Yeah. And one good thing about traveling by boat is that you're not going to leave a whole lot of scent behind you.
So, just for future, are we avoiding all wolfkin or just these wolfkin? Like, how wanted are you by people?
This one and a couple others.
So, this group and a couple others?
Yeah.
Okay. So we should just assume then that all wolfkin are going to be a problem.
If I recognize them, they're a problem.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
And so the
Done talking
wind
about it.
slowly fills the sails, and you're starting to make your way out from the harbor. Again, there's a slight drizzle. There's enough wind to sail for sure. It's a bit choppy on the lake today. Nothing too bad. Certainly not for people with wilderness experience. but possibly for people who don't have such experience. Oh, I noticed that the windows jumped around a little bit. Have to fix that. They jumped around a lot. Anyway, so out you go onto the waters. Did Chris get disconnected, perhaps? Is that what happened? Because I can still see his window there.
Yes, roll 20 says his iPad died.
Oh, okay.
So just probably give him a few more minutes to boot it back up again.
Yes.
I was enjoying being free to for a bit. It was a nice change, I might say.
All right.
Suddenly felt so powerful.
Exactly.
And not just like the support role character powerful, like I could do things.
Yeah, but in this exact moment, you don't want to be Frida.
when you develop some more of those spells, you will be able to do damage to people.
Yeah, next level shape-shifting allows me to bear punch.
Yep.
And that is destructive.
That is very destructive. Don't want to get in the way of that.
But if I get to keep some of my stuff and be Frida, I would have just jumped and started swimming and said I'll jump on the boat once you guys catch up.
Yeah, that bear paw is really pretty brutal, if I recall correct. Bear claw. Hit automatically and cause damage equal to the power level. So, typically at least 2, because Elven Spring. There we go. Chris is back. Awesome. Now I just have to organize the windows really quickly. Okay.
Sorry about that. Didn't realize the iPad wasn't plugged in and it died.
Yeah, it's okay. It's only just takes a few moments for me to get it reorganized and reset.
At 1%, but it's plugged in, so hopefully it'll work.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see now. Mikael is in the right spot, actually.
I stay put when I have to.
Exactly. Here we go. I'm getting everyone back to where they belong.
As long as the power usage is the same as the power going in, I'll cover at 1%.
Exactly. And finally, Jess. So I guess it's not going to be the village music anymore here, the village background, because there are very few village sounds on the lake, if you will.
There's not that many village people on the lake.
This is also true.
Young man, I say, get you to port. I say, young man, bring a fish or two to it.
Exactly. There we go. Gotcha there. Okay. There we go. That's better. Alright,
For
so
another product placement.
out on the lake you go. And that means that we're moving maps again. How about that? And this time, I suppose, it would be the fisherman who's gonna roll for the lead the way.
Rita will stay down until the village is out of sight.
I gather that could be a good idea.
I'd recommend Brainard do the same, just in case, because they're known companions at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I don't know if Brainerd totally can sleep during the day at all, but
Oh no, you
can sleep in
lay
the
down
boat.
right there, bag of oranges.
You can sleep in the boat, I would argue.
excellent. I will totally do that, because if I take one more hit to agility, I'm pretty much toast.
Yep, you sure are. The fisherman seems to know his way, at least through... he just basically turns the boat towards the south and follows the coastline. you'll leave Westport behind and start seeing more planes, basically.
If we're relatively hugging the shore or close enough,
Yep.
I'll take the time to kind of pick out targets as we're traveling and like let loose some arrows as I try to pick up a new talent.
Oh, you're using your time to train, are you?
Yep.
That
So
is
it's,
something you can do.
That's a wits roll, right?
I believe it is. That's the wrong. Oh, I was supposed to do this as well. There we go.
No wits roll, you say?
I think it is this. There we go. Develop your character. Talents. It requires a quarter day of practice and a successful wits roll. Unless you have a teacher, which you don't currently.
Can you push that roll?
Not sure.
Okay.
I don't think you can because it's not a skill check. Can everybody see? Yeah, no. Why didn't that change the map? That's weird.
So yeah, so I will let loose some arrows, trying to pick up the weak spots and stuff in targets, but not having any success. I'm trying to learn. I think it's Path of the Arrow for hunters.
Now the map changed. I don't know why it did that. Okay, what were you saying? Sorry. I got distracted by the map not changing.
I'm trying to learn Path. I think it's Path of the Arrow for hunters.
Right. Yes.
But no success.
Alas. Well, I have to start somewhere, right?
Yep.
So anyway, it's a slight drizzle. You can see plenty of sun today. It's really patchy sunlight. Sun breaks through every once in a while, so it's not a terrible weather. It's wet, but it's not, windy. It's not unless you are unused to boats, you're gonna be fine. There might be one or two of you who feel a bit nauseous from the waves. Particularly city dwellers, maybe. Don't feel singled out or anything.
I'm probably 3 shades of green at this.
Smaller center of gravity.
Easier to move around.
Actually, that is a good point. Since I'm feeling somewhat ill, would I be able to promenade through the village without any trouble? Maybe find somebody who can heal, use my existing XP, and get Path of the Hymn too, perhaps?
You'd have to do that in the boat, like the others. If you're learning a new talent, you can try and string your, sing a song and such like, and roll your wits to try to. You're trying out new songs basically on your comrades.
Yeah, to get my mind off of what's going on.
Yeah, exactly, and trying your voice and well, your flute mostly. You can either sing or you can play the flute and try to cheer people up, because that's what Path of the Hymn does. And roll a wits for that.
Hey, Big, what do you know for sea shanties?
I'm gonna figure it out, I guess.
You have 7 experience, so it's quite enough to get the Path of the Hymn for sure. Yeah. Oh, you already have Path of the Hymn. Are you trying to get Path of the Song, maybe? Is that what we're saying? Which one were you
I think she was trying to get the second one for Path of the Hymn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Path of the Song is the one where you're captivating everyone's attention. Path of the Hymn is where you're healing a broken comrade. and part of the
Right.
war cry.
I was looking for level 2 of that.
Oh, for level 2, you don't need to roll the wits for that. You just spend the XP. And that's 6 XP, so you'll get that one if you want.
Oh, excellent.
There we go.
Yeah.
I'd still perform, though.
You
because,
can.
you
if
know.
want.
You do know some sea shanties.
Yeah, exactly. As it turns out. And Path
Picking
of
them up on
the
the fly.
Hymn, that means that a number of your... instead of just healing one broken comrade within short range, you can now heal a number of your comrade, several people, one per willpower point, as far 1 point of damage. So they don't all get completely healed, but it's enough to give them a little bit of a boost in one single attribute.
Yeah, I'm just Frida just stays down.
Yep.
The whole boat ride. She just stays down.
I'll put that in your sheet here so we can remember what you have there. All right. So, and that means that you're now down to 1 XP left, because that cost you 6. But it will make you quite happy to know that nothing untowards has accosted you on the lake. Just when you had left Westport, you would have seen other sails on the horizon, but most of them seems to be going out into the center of the lake. Very few seem to be turning this way. Perhaps 1 or 2, because I'm sure there's other people who are interested in going the same direction. But there you are. You're traveling across the lake. You'll see now on your right-hand side the mountains rising, the mouth of the river that comes from up north or northwest that disappears into the haze somewhere a ways. And by noonish, you will see Westport, not Westport, sorry, Reddale, as it's known. The fisherman calls it that.
If I get a chance after practicing with the bow,
Yep.
I will actually try to catch some fish, since we had agreed to, and so far we haven't done any.
That's true, and you do need to spend a quarter day to do that to help the fisher in question, which is, that would be nice.
Well, I figured I would at least be doing that too.
Yeah, and Brennar and Celestial could do that while you're traveling. The fisher would appreciate that very much. So if you do that during these travels while the fisher is busy with navigating the boat.
Totally.
Yeah, I couldn't remember how long it would take for the nap, if it was just a quarter day or not. So
I figured it was like land travel where that is his quarter day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically.
So basically, with since it only took us a quarter day to get there, we make the agreement that we'll fish, and then we all goof off except for Celestial Passage.
Yep.
What a surprise.
And once Brainard wakes up at the end of the quarter day, he goes fishing.
Indeed, yeah, and that's gonna, as I said, take a quarter day. The fisher will, of course, this mouth of this other river, which means that you would get to Reddale basically at dusk, because you're spending the afternoon just by the mouth of the river. You can see in the distance on your to the west this looming forest and the mountain peaks rising up, and to the south plains, and to the east there will be the town with a cluster of buildings just by the mouth of the river. Yeah, Soren will get some fish for the fishermen, and Brennar will get even more. Celestial, is anyone keeping watch at this point?
I assume Frida would have been employed in the protection we promised when we got to the town.
Yep, maybe, yep.
I assumed the ship captain would be doing their job.
The
Well,
ship
that's
captain
sailing.
is basically leading the way across the ocean, so...
You got your spyglass, Celestial. You can always take a look around.
Yeah, very powerful and appropriate for here.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna roll that survival for the fishing and then get to it because for some reason it was lagging.
Let's see now. Yeah, okay, that's excellent, and it's quite. Oh, is that the second scout in the? Oh, you're
Yeah, the scouting's the second. I'm clearly going to,
push that one.
push
Um,
that.
The first one was the fishing in the morning. There?
Yeah.
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 So the fisherman will get at least 4 fish, even 4 plus Brennar's 3. That's a lot of fish. Yeah, I think you've made good on your deal with the fisher.
And
Let's
there's
see
some
what
good
happens with the scouting though. There you
There. Oh, that sucks. Though.
Yep, you're
That's the spyglass busted again.
the spyglass is busted, and I think I know how. It's a good thing you saw it though. So this is what happens. Let's see now. This is good.
Next time I'm just going to use my friggin' spells. Now that I'm maxed on willpower.
Yeah, you are max now, are you?
Yeah.
Let's see. There we go. So you're keeping watch there. People have been doing all their things in their boat, helping out with the fishing. The boat is starting to stink a lot of fish, but on the other hand, there is a lot of fish in the boat that are twinkling nicely with their scales, and the fisherman is quite pleased with this. Big, maybe not so much. Frida, maybe not so much.
Diffusing her scent at least, so it protects us from whoever's chasing her, and protects some of us for other things. Because wet dog is not a fun smell. I'm just saying.
And there you are keeping tabs on things when you see something up in the air. First you're like, look at that big bird, and then you're, wait, birds don't have 4 legs? And then you look back on it, you're with the looking glass back across it again. And then everybody hears an absolutely chilling scream in the air. And whatever is this up there flying, it makes a really steep turn and just sort of folds over and then comes just tumbling right down for the boat.
Oh no, it
This
can do
is-
a wind over.
And you've seen you've
Son
never
of a bitch.
seen anything like this. It is huge. Must be the size of maybe a horse, but it has wings, and it's definitely not a horse.
Definitely not an albatross either.
Well, it could be it could be part horse. It could be a hippogriff.
I just point my spear upward.
Yep. I mean, you can
Incoming!
roll your lore, B, if you want, to recognize this thing, but it's definitely a demonic being. Yeah, this is a griffin.
Huh.
It's
It's
coming
Jimmy
down
Griffin.
at you, huge eagle wings and that raptor head, and definitely terrifying claws, 4 legs tumbling down in a dive.
Is there any sort of cover on the boat?
Not much, no.
Well, I will move away from the pile of fish that it's probably aiming for.
I was actually diving towards the pile of fish. Good thing you moved me away.
Over this way.
Thanks to the fact that Celestial saw this thing in time, you do have 1 turn to prepare yourselves.
I will aim my spear upward
Yep.
to just kind of see if I can rake it as it goes by.
B, by the way, your lore roll also tells you that this kind of creature that is a combination of different animals is definitely demonic in nature. Not a demon per se necessarily, but yeah.
Not a creature of the natural order.
Not a creature of the natural order, and in the history of things, you will have heard about how the evil sorcerer Ziggopher did release these kinds of creatures upon the Forbidden Lands.
Oh,
I like to think that as we're all kind of diving around the boat for cover or celestial passages, it's kind of matter-of-factly stating all of this information to us.
It's what I can do.
It's like, we're all like, oh shit, and he's like, actually...
That's a griffin, one of the creations Ziggopher once made back in the blah blah blah, and then he released it upon the wilds. What a dick.
So, who's doing what? You have a turn before it will reach the boat.
Is the boat big enough that it's basically all one area, or just in multiple areas?
No, it's a fishing vessel, so it's not going to be big enough to have several zones, if that's what you mean. It's a single.
Okay.
It's more like a raft type thing.
No, I'd say it's you can squeeze in a dozen people, and it's like a small sloop, if you will. If you would compare this to like an old school frigate or whatever, it would be the longboat.
Okay.
And in that case, since I don't actually have to really move, I will use my fast action to draw my bow and my slow action to shoot it.
Okay. Yeah, it's within range by now. And obviously can't do a thing because, Since I haven't actually entered this critter into the thing here, I'll have to... That's a hit! Ouch.
Oh.
Yeah, your arrow flies, and it's a hit center mass.
Awesome.
Doesn't kill it yet,
so
though.
I believe base damage for a bow
It's
1, so
You
2 damage.
Yep. You can see the shaft of the arrow. It's sitting there in the side.
Question. Do I roll my consumables for arrows after each shot or after each combat? I think it's after each shot.
I think so too, yes.
I'll look it up. I got a book handy.
Yeah, okay. Meanwhile, next person. We don't have to go initiative order because, you're all before this thing. It can't hit you right now.
Okay, sorry. Frida's gonna do the same thing with her spear.
Yep.
She's
All right.
gonna aim at it.
What's the range of that spear? It's probably...
I'm gonna push that. Can I push that?
Absolutely you can.
Oh, I forgot
Hurt
my
yourself
spear
a bit,
too.
But... Oh, yes, you did forget your spear. That's gonna add you
My spear...
2 dice.
2.
2 black dice.
2. Ha. There we go.
There you go.
There we
That's a hit.
go.
Yeah, so you're hurling that throwing spear at this demonic creature that's hurtling down at you with a scream. But
And
your
it
spear does what damage?
It does 1 damage.
So it's glancing off this feathery belly of this creature.
Oh,
And
damn
goes
it.
wide. Probably gonna land in the water.
That's on bright side at least.
And then, yeah, so Celestial.
Hey, Bernard, you know what to do.
I'll draw the bow that I have as my free action and shoot it.
Yes, please.
Much less skillfully. But
Hail Marys
a
are
shot's
always,
a shot.
every shot counts.
yep. Here's hoping.
Except this one didn't. Unless you
Nope.
push it.
Well, you know what? No.
Okay. You Oh, that was the consumable, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Brenner?
Yeah, it is after each shot.
Yeah.
Yep. So basically, Brainar, slow action,
Yeah.
digs into his backpack and gets out his oil lamp and lights it,
Yeah.
and waits till it comes near, because that's about all he can do.
And then there will be fire. And now we can draw initiative cards. You can take one of your own, right?
Yeah, we can draw one.
I have a 4 for the critter.
I got a 7.
You need more cards in the deck.
It's saying it's out of cards.
Really? Again? Shuffle? That's
You may have to recall all.
Or at least recall discards and...
Yeah.
on table.
There, now I got one.
Okay, good.
I think one person's still missing one though.
That will be.
Yeah, I think Bieg.
Yeah, I'll hand it over to.
Right.
Where's that? Nope, that was Celestial. 1 card 2. Does Michaela? Did you get a card?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So we all have a card.
I just moved mine to over my bar.
Okay.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm doing the same thing. I got a 5.
All right.
it
There's a
looks
lot
like
of
our-
you before the Griffin comes in. Then. So
Hey,
1 is who's that?
That's Celestial Passage. I guess we're all a different spot on the bar on our screen.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Celestial, you move first. You can take another shot.
I'll try that again.
It's better than nothing. And it's another miss, alas.
I'll push that one though.
Okay. That's a hit. Let's see if it can absorb that. I'm afraid those feathers are strong. You see it bounce
Darn those
off.
feathers.
Yep. Who is number... It's me next. Oh dear. That means that there is a monster attack coming in against one of you. And in this game, because we haven't actually had this before, it's the first time you meet a monster of this kind. I roll on a table for what kind of attack it's actually doing. So I have no idea until I've rolled. And I'm
Chaos.
rolling. It's a claw fury. It's just coming down on top of one of you, which is going to be... I'm just going to do a D5 going left to right. That's Soren.
Damn it.
And
You bright
rears
side
up.
is at least you did hit it.
Yeah, exactly.
Can I spend a willpower to get in the way with my shield?
You can indeed. It's going to tear at you with all those 4 claws while hovering with those huge wings.
So I jump in the way with my shield.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 attacks.
Okay.
Holy crap.
Roll 6 base dice for each. These attacks can be parried, but only one at a time.
I am parrying them.
Yep. So the first attack is a hit.
Okay. And then I have to roll my parry, do I not?
Yes, it's one single hit, so you should be able
Okay.
to.
So Passage has the look of, I could bear punch it if I had more training.
Exactly.
I'm gonna push.
You do that.
Why is it not? I did. Just give me a minute.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Sorry, just give me a second. I hit the push roll, but now it's not rolling for some reason. There we go. Nope.
I'm confused. Because it did roll. You rolled 3 times now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
And
didn't realize it had rolled.
Yeah, it did. So,
Okay.
but it was the wrong set of dice the second time, which is okay because there was no real difference with the white dice. But you did get a hit, and the shield breaks. So
That's okay.
what happens is basically you're coming in there between Soren and this griffin, and throwing up that shield, and it's just enough to deflect the attack from Soren.
But it like rips the antlers off.
But it rips the antlers off, and it trashes your shield with those claws. Brag, with a crack. You can see those claws coming through, and the entire shield has a crack through it now. Second attack.
Oops.
Yeah, that's also a hit.
I'm gonna
single
parry
hit.
that one too.
It's a single hit. You get to do at least 2 parries, don't you, with Path of the
Yeah.
Shield? Yep. The Path of the Defender. What is it? Path of the Shield.
Path of the Shield.
Yep. Yep. Comes in handy now, eh?
Ha! Push again.
Indeed. You're rolling too many white base dice, though.
Why?
Because you hurt yourself.
I'm not
on
using the
first-
shield anymore.
No, but you're
Yeah.
not subtracting them when you push for your failures you already have.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. So,
I thought it did it automatically.
no,
No,
it
you
doesn't.
have to
I
push
thought
button.
so too originally, but it doesn't. So you should be at.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why it asks, unfortunately.
Yeah, you should be at. Let's see now. You've
I should
taken
be at
2 points
4.
of damage to your strength, so you have 3 strength now.
Okay.
So, yeah, there you go.
There we
And
go.
That's the proper die pool. There we go. Oh, and that's a hit. And you don't even have to push
I'm
that.
using my longsword this time.
Yeah, exactly. You're forcing those claws away, glancing them off before they hit
Yeah.
Soren. How about the third attack?
Sorry, Soren, I can only parry twice for you.
And Soren is
Yeah.
super lucky because it misses. I
Oh,
have
man.
6 dice and not a single success. Frida
You're welcome.
gets in there, parries away those other 2.
Well,
And
Frida's next.
The third one misses.
Yep.
So,
So-
yeah, there we go.
Now it's nice and close. I'm gonna stab it.
You have used 2 attacks. No, you used
Okay.
1 parry and 2 parry. So you do have an attack because Path
Yeah.
of the Defense. Exactly.
So
Chop it to
melee.
pieces.
And I am using my sword. There we go.
And that's
Yes.
a hit.
My sword does 2.
Indeed. Let's see if the feathers can protect it. They do not at all. You lunge that long
It really
sword
hates me right now.
into it and draw blood. It screams in pain.
Good.
Next.
What number's next?
7.
7.
That'd be me.
Okay, Soren, you just saw those claws ahead of you.
So it's like right up in my face now.
Pretty much. And it screams in pain as that longsword bites into the side.
Right. I am going to use my fast action then to draw my axe,
Yep.
and I will. Actually, no, I will use the axe. The axe is a little bit better for this. And then I will embed my axe in it.
So you will.
Base damage at 2.
Oof. That's a heavy chop right there. And again, the feathers do not protect it. It is in pain now. There is blood trickling down its torso from these 2 hard hacks. For reference, the total damage from this group is now 6 points. It would have killed an ordinary human. This is not an ordinary human. This is a demonic creature. It's not dead yet. Who's next? Michaela?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me. Not being the most adept at combat, but I'm still hard to catch.
If someone
I'd be
attacks you,
able
yes.
to-
Someone has not
Yeah.
attacked you so far. What you could do...
Does Big have any way with her music to bolster Frida? Because Frida's taken some damage from protecting me.
She can do that.
Yeah, I can definitely
Path
do
of
that.
the Hymn level 2 allows you, which you just learned this morning, allows you to heal 1 point in one attribute for X number of your comrades.
Serenade me a sea shanty there, Big.
Frida's taken 2 points of damage in her strength. Oh, you don't need to roll. This is automatic. You just sacrifice willpower points. But you have to decide which attribute.
Strength should be pretty
My strength.
straightforward.
Yeah, so strength probably works best.
Yeah.
Are you burning 1 point or 2?
You can only heal one with Path
One
of the
at a
Hymn.
time?
Yeah. So Path of the Hymn level 2, basically, if you had more than one person who had taken damage to strength, you could heal 2 people 1 point. But right now there is only one person who is being healed, so spend a willpower, basically. You will feel your energy coming back to you, Frida, as Big leans into this soothing music, perhaps. I don't know. Is it ferocious? Is it soothing? What kind of tune do we hear from Big?
I'm definitely gonna ramp it up a little, being we're in the throngs of combat, so
Yep.
it's like the final countdown, sort of epic.
Big's waiting for a
Flute.
hero.
Yeah. Did you spend a willpower point?
Yes, it did.
Excellent. That's Big's turn. Who's next? Someone is 9?
Soren.
Okay.
Oh,
No, sorry,
no,
no.
No, I mean
Rainer.
Rainer.
Yes. Okay, Brenner. What evil
Alright.
ideas can you do with that lamp?
So, yeah, open flame, and 3 willpower,
Whoa.
plus, I'm an elf, so that's 5.
Half elf. Yes. That's 5.
elf.
Okay. Roll 4 dice. You don't have to roll for the lamp.
Okay.
To see if there is a magic mishap.
If I remember correctly, I'm just rolling like 4 base, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm watching you.
That's a 1.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
You have to beat him up now.
Let's see now. 1 means badness. Yep, that's bad. Roll d66 on the magic mishaps. The spell happens, and you heard it for 5 points, which is epic. But as you're reaching into the ether and the source of power in your own blood, effectively, and drawing it out and trying to and you're seeing your eyes is shifting into the etheric plane, and you're seeing that coursing blood inside this monstrous being, and channeling the ether of fire in your lamp into the griffin. Something goes wrong, and you rolled a 35. So that is... Ooh! You're seeing where this creature came from. The experiments, the horrible
Is he in a free
pain.
visions of the past?
Yes, the horrible pains that this created this creature. You can feel that pain in your mind as you unleash this spell. You take 1 point of damage to your wits. But then it takes 5 points of damage. And you can all see how it's basically the feathers are starting to burn from inside. There's a spark in that gash opened wound that starts to bubble and sizzle as this fire inside it starts to consume it. It's screaming in horrible pain at this point. Still not dead.
Oh, what the fuck?
Who is number 1 again?
Me?
Okay.
Good old me.
Yes, it's you.
How is this thing not dead?
It's taken 11 epic points of damage.
'Cause it's a monster.
It's a monster.
God damn.
It's your
This
first
is
real
fine.
monster.
It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. There's nothing wrong here. Let's move on.
What do you do?
I guess I'll shoot it. Try and shoot it again
Okay.
because it's still better than using my staff.
It's a hit! Just
Oh.
when you needed it.
Bah, bah, bah.
And I roll for its feathers, which do nothing. It's your last
But I do lose my
arrow.
last arrows.
Your
That was
last
a great
arrow.
use of your last arrow, though.
And what happens? You hit it, you do 2 points of damage, because I'm assuming the second hit is a damage.
Yeah.
And you
I know
hit
this
it
game.
right through the mouth.
I did.
And it goes down. Splash into the water. It just sort of...
Is there a net on this boat? Because I want that thing.
I'm on a fishing boat and I ask, is there a net?
Fishing, come on.
There is a
let's-
fishing net.
Realistic.
There is a fishing net. And ladies and gentlemen, and anything else that we can think of, you have killed a griffin.
Woohoo! I want its claws for my new shield.
I bet.
Braynar, you can
only
have the
had
rest of the
time to
parts.
do one single attack on you guys. That worked. Brennar, 5 points of damage.
That was
Rainer just
epic.
shakes his head and says, "My head hurts. Can we go ahead and lift that out of the water now?"
The fisher.
Rita will help.
The fisher is lying down at the bottom of the boat and just going, ah,
All is well, sir.
ah, and then stands up and goes, you slew the thing, you slew the monster, and
I
jumping
told
up
you
and
we were
down.
demon slayers.
You're demon slayers. Ah, ah, we're all alive. And does a bit of a jig in the middle of the boat there. So happy. Ah, I've heard rumors of this beastie. Never seen it myself, mind. Ah, ah.
And now, after we're done, you'll never see it again.
Ah,
Just imagine
indeed.
if we weren't here to protect you. As I mentioned, refund cough cough. I think
this this fisher is giving Celestial a huge kiss on the cheek and a big hug.
I did not do this alone. Thank you, though, sir.
But that shot, sir, that shot. Oh, and then hugs all around.
Oh,
And yes, I mean, it's very easy to convince the fisher at this stage to refund the coin. No, here, take it back. I couldn't.
You mean
possibly-
5 copper back to me, please?
Oh,
if he comes anywhere near me with his arms outstretched for a hug, I'm still holding my axe.
and then he avoids you.
I'm
will
not
see that,
concerned.
and then-
People tend not to hug the wolfkin.
Well, he's hugging what, like a leg or something, whatever happens to be available. Wow.
So is there any way that we could bring that up?
That's a good question. I guess you can. I'm gonna allow it, you to roll. How about a move roll to just get, because it's not gonna just sink immediately. It splashes down into the water. There's enough air and air bubbles trapped inside the feathers and inside the carcass itself to keep it floating. It comes up for a little while, and if one of you can do a successful move roll with 2 bonus
will
dice
try.
for the fishing net, 2 gear dice, I'll allow you to.
Well,
to-
this is agility based.
Yeah, I've got 6 base.
That's
Yeah, mine was too.
Yeah.
Rita rolled.
There you go. You didn't even need fishing roll.
No.
No, Frida just reached out, grabbed the
Grabbed
floating
it by the
spear,
scruff of the
snapped-
neck and
No,
pulled
grabbed
it
the
in.
floating spear and then stuck it
Yeah.
to pull it in.
Yeah.
I will.
It's
I
heavy.
will begrudgingly go like, nice shot and hand celestial passage like a handful of arrows.
The fisher will instruct you on bringing the carcass around to the stern of the boat so you don't sink it, tipping over by trying to lug it into it, because it's way too heavy for that. Way too heavy.
So yeah, I will reduce my arrows consumable 1 slot to bump celestial passages up by 1 slot.
Yep.
Well, thank you.
I mean, if you're gonna get use out of it, you may as well have some ammo.
Yep, exactly. So, having survived that unscathed, not a single one of you took any damage in that one. That's
Because Path of Shield is awesome.
Clearly well spent character points on that. Yeah, there Soren stood facing death itself, and then Frida came in between.
Celestial or Big, do you know this thing? Are like its feathers or anything? Is any of this worth money to anybody?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm assuming you could probably
Yes.
sell most of this carcass
Trophies.
for a lot. Trophies.
Alchemy.
These feathers alone are probably going to make some great arrows that you lost.
I agree that we should be
I
using
didn't
it
lose
for...
any of mine. No, I lost 1. So is it better to like sell the entire carcass to somebody, or is it better to butcher it?
I'm taking the claws.
We're butchering it already.
Alrighty.
I should say,
Because it doesn't have any
Frida's
teeth.
butchering it already.
The reputation alone, walking through town with a lion, or sorry, a griffin head on my body.
I'll
gonna be
allow
pretty
that as a reputation point once you get to town, because, wow, right? That's a major beastie right there. Speaking of town, welcome to Reddale. Let's see if it switches.
Well, if it's wretched den of rogues and villainy, at least we have a griffin head to just make them think twice.
Yes, well, it's as you're approaching this place, it's gonna be, the sun is coming down now. It's getting darker, and you can feel the smell as you're closing in on this village of all sorts of things that belong to a village, fish, cooking meat, and so on. You will notice that this village, as you're getting closer, is considerably less well structured, if you will, than Westport was. A whole lot of the houses here are really looking very rickety, to say the least. The palisade around this is not made out of stone. It's a simple wooden palisade, very sturdy though. They've taken some energy and put some energy into making this palisade sturdy enough. But in terms of the houses, it's cobbled together wooden huts. Some of them are in fact hide huts. There are some stone houses here as well, but everything is very much cobbled together with whatever means they could, improvised building, let's say. A lot of the people around here, much fewer humans, you will notice. A lot of them are orcs, and there are banners flying from the towers around, and there's a big placard just down by the piers saying basically, we take no orders from no one.
Oh, double negative. Excellent. We take orders from everyone.
Is that the town motto?
Appears to be. There will be some fishers here. It's interesting. There are also quite a few dwarves around here. But a lot of them, when you're getting to the pier, and there's people here hauling out their fish for the day. the fisherman will. These are a bit rough. These folks, you understand. Lots of bandits and thugs here. I never go past the pier myself, but some travelers do. Don't know if you'll
Understand.
be able to find a tavern here, but perhaps you can.
We
Oh.
appreciate the ride.
Really, I mean, we told this guy we'd protect him when we got here, so I assume he's not leaving the ship back tonight.
No.
So we should probably just bunk down on the bed so that we can protect it and the fair-sized catch that he has here.
That's an idea. Yeah.
We might want to move that fair-sized catch pretty quickly, though.
I don't know. Does he plan on selling it here or taking it back?
No, he's gonna sell it here. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He can sell it here and then make another catch on the way back home again.
All right. So yeah, if he manages to sell it,
Yep.
um,
Yeah, no,
Maybe-
he's coming in there, and there will be some folks there. Nobody seems hostile to any of you at this particular moment, at least.
that's because
I
they don't
hope
know
not.
us.
Hostility comes with comfort.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we should probably try and find either a butcher or something
Or a
in relation
baker
to,
or a candlestick maker.
Yeah.
to dispose of the griffin.
Can I use my cooking skills to chop it up?
Yeah.
I'd rather sell
you
it.
should be able to. Well, I have to think about that one. I remember in Mutant Year Zero, you have to have a special talent to butcher monsters. I don't know if that's the case in Forbidden Lands, though. But I mean, when you are starting to haul up the griffin from the boat, there will be a lot of people giving you an eye, and then two eyes, and then and some people are starting to come down and look at. They caught the griffin. You'll hear an orc, basically just bellow out.
What's the bounty on it?
The bounty? Oh, I don't know if it's any bounty.
You ever eat griffin meat before? I heard it tastes delicious.
No, I never did. Good.
I'm not.
Griffin meat. I can eat that. Is it good?
The very best.
Well, now you have their attention. They will stick around for a while as you unload the boat. Obviously, this idea of griffin meat has people very interested, which also means that they completely forget about the poor fisherman's haul of fish.
Oh, no. You don't get griffin meat without buying fish.
Ah.
They absolutely have to be paired together.
Quite exquisite.
Do I hear someone doing like a sales pitch, being a peddler, like selling?
Yeah, no, I'll try and do that. Just
I'm gonna give you like 3 gear dice for having a griffin to sell. I feel that's appropriate in this case. I think people are going to be willing to, shell out some extra funds for that, because this is definitely novelty dining. Ooh.
While
Four successes.
while Big is selling this, I will at the very least I will get some feathers off it for fletching.
Yeah.
And then I'll do what I can to actually butcher it with my survival skill.
And whenever Celestial Passage is not looking, I'm emptying my water skin and filling it with griffin blood.
Ooh.
while they're doing that, I'm
That's the secret.
standing on a fishing crate or a lobster trap or something like that. It's like, you've heard of surf and turf. You've heard of sushi, sashimi, whatever. But now you have surf, sky, and turf.
Exactly. And they are flocking to this. That roll there's a crowd around you at this point. Griffin meat, hey, we got to watch them slaughter the beast and take it apart. This is definitely, yep, that works. You're not completely messing it up. So you're taking it out. You're starting to. Someone is going to put its head on something.
I think we're keeping the head. I think Big wanted the head for something.
Yeah, probably. And there's going to be a huge crowd now. There must be, dozens and dozens of people around you. You will notice by now, the demographics of this crowd. At least half of them are orcs. Very male. I mean, that's everyone that you can say, this is an orc, this is an orc, this is an orc. You're spotting them on the tusks, on just how big and muscular they are, on how much of that boar pelt, if you will, they seem to be having. Hairy, and might strike you, at least for Brenar and Celestial. How would an orc woman look like? You've never seen a woman with tusks like that.
Or have we?
Or have you?
But not realized it.
And there will be some dwarves, at least maybe a third or a fifth of the crowd will be dwarves, and then some humans in there as well. Quite a few of the humans are women, you would say. There's a gender imbalance between these two kin, clearly, as you're looking around. And quite a lot of these human women are quite strong, well built, definitely above average height and weight and just muscularity than you would expect in a typical human village. But you seem to be very popular around these parts right now. They are taking their time, and obviously this whole slaughtering and cooking and everything is going to take you another quarter day, so this is going to take until deep into the evening. The people are setting up torches and lanterns. They're making a feast out of this.
I'll partway through, I'll pull Big aside. I'll say, I know you're good at talking to people and swaying the masses. If you could just kind of subtly let it be known that not only did we defeat the Griffin, but we did it without taking any damage unto ourselves, just in case anybody's getting the idea to chop us or roll us for anything. We want them to know how well we dealt with this.
Almost like we're the Untouchables.
Yeah, the untouchable demon slayers, walked in unscathed completely, not a scratch upon us,
Yeah.
Where's my fedora and Tommy gun?
I'm going to allow the entire group to get 1 extra point of reputation for the boasting that Big is doing right now, given that fantastic manipulation roll. Yeah, there will be 1 or 2, everybody here seems to be well armed. Even the spindliest orc, and there are a few small ones, or thinnest humans, have at least some kind of big dagger or short sword or club. This is probably the most heaviest armed population of villagers you can remember seeing. Everyone has a sword or a short sword or a club of some kind. Axes are very common as well. And one of them will be, getting a bit closer. There seem to be worthy warriors here, taking down that beastie. That thing has been tormenting us for years.
Yeah, usually when we do stuff like this, people pay.
I think some people will pay tonight. Just gives you a really big pat on the shoulder. Look at this.
Don't touch me.
Humans and then it looks over to the 2 half elves. Thin ones and looks at the halfling. Who would have thought? All these years our brave orc warriors have done for naught, and here comes these sons. Everybody starts laughing at this point. Of course, I think a whole lot of the looks of appreciation and the great warrior is amazing type of look is directed towards Frida, because she's the big one. She has the sword, and yeah, she walks the warrior walk as well. We'll let Jess react to that when she gets back in a moment. Meanwhile,
I can
as
talk
you're...
the talk, but she walks the walk for sure.
You can tell by how she uses her walk that she's a leading man.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt about who's used to using a sword in this group. At least for people who are used to watch other warriors. But yeah, you're chopping up that meat and starting to serve it over a fire. You're gonna collect a lot of silver tonight. Let me tell you, everyone wants to try a bite out of this one, particularly the orcs, but certainly the others as well. It's a novelty. Griffin meat, can you eat that? Are you gonna get sick from it? Who knows? But they're willing to try after that pitch.
I was ambivalent about it, but after hearing big, I gotta try it.
That means that I have to decide
Rainer will stay
whether...
far away from it.
I will not touch it.
You've hit max manipulation when you're gonna, manipulate your own party.
Oh, you can definitely do that.
Yeah, I've eaten worse.
That means that I have to decide on whether
The big cook ones?
this thing will be poisonous for you or not. I don't know. Think on my feet. It doesn't say in the GM's guide, because I don't think anyone had the idea of actually eating griffin meat before.
I mean, it's half bird, half lion.
Yeah, exactly.
I ran a 13th age game where the party ate everything that they came across. They had a cookbook.
That sounds so
They made buffalo wings with an owlbear.
Yes.
So really, game writers should know that players'
Will
characters
eat
are going to
everything.
eat what they kill.
I
There's
get
gonna be at
I get
least
the
one
feeling
PC.
that the chicken leg on this one will be big. Like a really big club,
Oh, I thought when you said big, you were talking about the halfling, so it's the same size as the halfling.
It
Don't
will
eat
be
me.
the same size of the halfling.
Well, I mean, it does have 4 of them.
Exactly.
You heard that, guys. Big's not interested.
When it appears that none of the party is really paying attention, Soren will take like one of the drumsticks and look for, like, at Thanksgiving dinner, there's always the little kid that wants the drumstick.
Exactly.
So Soren will look around for he'll look around for that kid, and when the party's not paying attention, he'll just kind of like motion the kid over and then like make sure that he gets the drumstick.
Knowing this town, they'd probably use it as a club anyway.
Yeah, and it's probably going to
Just the
be
bone, at
yeah,
least.
exactly. It's probably going to be an orc kid who's
Yeah.
just clinging to this huge club and trying to run
Yeah.
away with it.
Yeah. I'll be like, shh.
It's gonna be hard to conceal that. It's as big
Yep.
as the kid. Yeah, any of you will have the opportunity to fraternize with the villagers as all this is going on, because clearly you're the center of attention now. Anyone who wants to talk to anyone. There will be commotion at some point. There's definitely someone who's going to throw a punch on someone else, and there will be a little bit of a kerfuffle there. You will notice that no one is trying to do that with any of you, because you just killed the griffin. Not going to pick that fight. But someone is picking a fight with someone. There's a bit of a brawl going on there. They clear space up for these two brawlers to go at it. You will also notice that they're not using their weapons. They're just punching each other at this point.
Bernard would look around and see if he can find an unused water skin that he can then pocket, so he can actually have water again in the unfortunate event that he needs it.
No. You have to drink your griffin blood, sir.
How about a sleight of
price
hand
you
check?
pay.
Probably not your strongest skill there, but yeah, no,
That goes great.
that goes great. Yeah. So yeah, Frida, I was saying, you will quickly gain a lot of attention because among these orcs and dwarves and humans, they can tell who's
Wolfkin
the
are still
warrior.
rare.
Who they can tell who's the warrior. This is such a well-armed town. So many of them are warriors, to be sure. Just given how many weapons they have, that you have garnered a lot of respect from these orcish warriors who have no doubt about who probably delivered the killing blow against this griffin. Because who else has the big sword, and who else is as big and strong as you are? You can't possibly be any of these thin people, the half-elves, spindly thin. You can just break them when you poke them a bit.
Yeah, Frida's seen what the half-elves can do. They're much scarier than she is, but she won't tell the orcs that.
Now tell us everything. How did you do this? I've heard of Wolfkin before. Fierce they are, I hear.
Yeah, something like that. Well, in the heat of battle, things get so fuzzy. Sometimes you don't exactly remember what blows went where.
No, berserker. It wouldn't surprise Frida one bit if a few of these folks are berserkers.
No, not at all.
Someone will probably notice that that coup de grace bow shot, because I think the arrow is probably still logged inside the mouth.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to reach in and reclaim that arrow.
Exactly.
It's like it's still got a razor sharp beak. Are you kidding me?
It does indeed, to be sure. Are you staying for the night? A dwarf is coming up to you.
Yeah, I think we need to meet up with some other
Friends.
friends here.
Well, this is a dwarf lady. Well, I can offer you room and board in my tavern. The third wheel is right over there.
That'd be great.
I'll charge you for it, of course, but
With a hero's discount, I hope.
of course. In fact, why don't we go over to my place and do the servings over there, eh? What do you say to that?
Yeah, I like that. What do you think?
As long as
Big
we're
does
still
on my
getting,
PR.
as long as we're still getting a fair cut out of it.
I'll see you rightly rewarded. I think B has no particular problem working out a deal with that. Again, the manipulation roll that was 4 successes. So I mean, the tavern is really close by. It's just right there, and it's as you get in there, it's Odila is doing her level best to make you feel comfortable and make you feel at home. Bringing up ale, good dwarven ale. She'll charge you a little bit for it, but seeing as you are going to earn this evening a total of 40 silver from selling as much meat as you can possibly churn out.
Well, that's a good total for each of us.
Yeah.
8 each.
Oh, I was going for 40 each. Don't undercut us.
It's
Is it
the
40 or
size-
80 or 8?
Let's have a look here at how much meat you get from a horse as a, or I mean a deer is 5 meat, right? This would be what?
This is probably closer to a moose.
Yeah, let's put it at 7 meat then.
I'm pretty sure we sold the lion's share.
You want to roll that manipulation to get that pun on by?
So I'm gonna give, that would be 5 silver per dish, basically, which is 5 times the price of a typical hearty meal. So yes, 40 silver in total from butchering this thing. That's 4 gold.
Sweet.
There's a lot of stuff that you're probably not gonna use for meat right away, like the innards and whatnot.
So yeah, 8.
Oh no. There's orcs and dwarves here. The innards
Yeah.
are getting used.
Yeah, that makes good sausage, man.
It does once you have the ground meat for sure.
While I'm butchering this, Brainer or Social Passage, is there anything that you guys need from this for your magics?
Nope.
We've already removed the head, correct?
Yeah. And you can
And
paint
the claws.
Are you planning to sleep in like the, because there's like a loft upstairs, which is basically just the attic with some pelts and comfortable stuff in it. You can sleep up there for 2 copper for the entire group.
I'm good with that.
Sure, Rainer will pay it.
Right, so 40 silver, so it's like 8 silver each.
Yeah. Hefty sum.
Sweet, I have money.
And yeah, the only thing Brainer could think from a chemical component would be where he's a bower, he can make more arrows. But I think you've already pointed that out, Soren.
Yeah, I got some feathers for that. I don't know if Social Passage, I don't know if the eyes would help you with your, like, seeing magic or anything.
No, that's not one of my focuses.
Okay.
I have all the focuses I need, and eyes aren't one of them, thankfully.
Okay.
It might be a different story should we meet back up with the group as we're planning to, and I get my studies in, because I don't think we'll have extra on them for me to take, but we'll see.
Well, once we've butchered everything we can off the carcass, I guess just throw it over the side of the boat.
That works.
While we're trying to sell things and stuff, I guess Frida will work on repairing her shield while she's mumbling answers to orcs.
I mean, that's.
Hey, Brainer, can you fix my spyglass?
I mean, you were
Let's
cooking the
sleep
griffin,
on
I
it first,
think.
and then we can fix
Frida's
some
been
stuff in
busy
the
with
AM.
that, hasn't she?
Pardon?
As a chef, Frida's been busy cooking the griffin.
Oh yeah.
She's busy in the
Forgot about
kitchen.
that.
We're over the fire. The kitchen in this case is really just a really big fire spit inside the tavern, right in the middle of the big hall. Which means that there's a big party tonight. And again,
Yeah.
Violence is in the air in this place. There are so many people with weapons, and there's so much ale. And part of partying apparently is, who is the biggest and strongest. They will challenge each other.
Well, good for them. I'm glad to not be big and strong.
Yeah,
I'm more lithe, so.
Yeah, they're
I'm
probably not gonna.
assuming they leave Frida to herself, or
Yes.
they don't challenge her.
No, she's busy with handing out the meat. They're not gonna stop the meat processing thing. Though I'm sure that there will be one of them at least. Oh, whenever you're ready, warrior. Let's see what you're made of.
Yeah, I don't think you can handle me, honey.
That smells like challenge to me.
No, you're the one that's gonna be sitting awkwardly after you're done.
Anything. Hands, tusks, dagger, sword, I'm ready. Club.
Yeah, no, not here. Well, we can take the morning. Actually, it's gonna take the better part of the day to repair both the shield and the spyglass.
Yep.
Don't we have to wait here for the other elves anyway?
This is not where we met.
Okay.
Now you're supposed to get to the Eye of the Rose itself,
Yeah.
which is, well, it's not terribly far from here. You should be able to get there by noon the next day if you leave in the morning.
Yeah, I think we got to repair some gear in the morning, so I think we're going to be here tomorrow anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is anyone going to take watch tonight
who's
when
keeping-
you're sleeping?
I would recommend it.
Well, if we're doing repairs, I'll keep watch, because then I can sleep while they're fixing.
This is true.
That's
I
good.
mean, someone can sleep now when everyone is having the big party with griffin meat. And that person can keep watch later.
Oh, okay. I'll do that then. Because I'm not really involved. And, you know, gotta make sure that Brainard has his chance to actually get all the griffin blood he can carry.
Exactly.
We do. Thanks.
So Celestial will have a nap and I guess get your wits back?
Yes. That's very important for what I do.
Yes, it is. And then the rest of you can sleep. And I know that at least Brennar is probably, wits.
Yep. Pretty close.
Frida will need to get that strength point back. Soren,
I'm fine.
you're fine, yes. So is Big. Big isn't taking any damage at all.
It's definitely done on purpose, though.
If the healer's taking damage, though, there's usually a problem. If Big's taking damage, it means I'm not doing my job right.
Pretty much.
So yeah, so I'll get some sleep.
Yeah. All right. That's a big, nice party. I keep calling it the big party because it really was. I mean, Big started it with her amazing oratory. Everybody has been eating their fill with griffin meat and having at least a taste of it. So we'll see if it's poisonous or not. Not everybody will have a really bad night, except those who didn't eat from it. I don't. Is it? It's made out of a demonic substance too, so probably
Like
not.
Japanese blowfish. As long as you cook it right, it's fine. And my cooking is great.
Your
But
cooking is-
you've accidentally, unknowingly pierced the toxics.
Exactly.
No. I have rank 2 in cooking. You're fine.
Yeah, but you don't
have
know
rank
what the
2
creature
cooking.
is.
Um,
It's a monster, not an animal.
While I'm butchering, I'm like, oh, this isn't supposed to be here. What the? Who puts the heart down near the ass? What the hell?
I mean,
Brainerd
there
knows
are-
how it was created. He didn't want any part of it.
There has to be parts of it that are, normal animal stuff. So maybe you can eat that, or maybe the blood of it is polluted to begin with, and everybody gets really nauseous and don't care because it was a cool thing to try. They're hardy folks in this village.
A rite of passage.
I wasn't going to,
A
but Big
wolfkin,
talked
we
me
eat
into it.
everything.
Yes, yeah. I'm gonna say that probably quite
Watch
a
out,
few
Big.
people here are getting sick sometime by the middle of the night. You don't know if it's the griffin meat or if it's the really horrible ale they're drinking or if it's a combination of the two. You have unleashed the revelry, and something is getting to a lot of the people, there will be regurgitations galore before the night is over, which will leave a terrible stench around this tavern. Stenches travel
Awesome.
upwards, so it's going to be an interesting way to sleep in the attic. And if you do want to take someone up on that challenge, Frida, that's absolutely optional. They would be lining up.
Sure, I will put what's his name in his place.
Okay then.
Man, I really wish it was smells on the wind, not words right now.
That's-
We'll call it a might roll, and we'll just do hand to hand because I don't want to actually like take any limbs.
for sure, we can do that.
So non-lethals.
Yep. Do I have an orc like that pre-programmed here? I might.
I'm gonna push that.
I don't think so. Okay.
Oh, I have to. I have to fix my dice first. Hold on
Sure.
a second.
Useless babysitters.
I am. There we go. Because I am pushing. Nope.
Ow! You hurt yourself in this
Frida's
duel.
still a little sore from killing the
Good thing
griffin.
you're sleeping.
And you do get 2 willpower points back. And
Hey, look, it's the willpower.
you will... Yeah, exactly. And this orc warrior will take great pride in managing to actually get Frida down on her back. And she feels that she's sprained something there. She's obviously going to...
Yeah, still sore from killing a griffin.
Exactly. And this does not in any way lead to Frida losing face in the eyes of these villagers. They seem to be just, cheering her on even more, and now they're cheering him on as well, because he could take down the griffin killer. So it gets everyone even more worked up and even more of a party atmosphere. This is a rave now, orc rave. Someone is playing on some kind of plunkers. They're bringing out even pots and cauldrons and just banging away on it with clubs to make music. It's an orc
Maybe
rave.
we should sleep outside.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard sleeping at tavern tonight.
Yes, it will be. And when the wee hours of morning come by, there is still someone going with ale.
Ole, 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 ole.
And just kind of bending over somewhere next to a wall and getting everything up again. But nobody has accosted you during the night, at least. So that's a good thing.
Excellent.
I didn't think they would, given the respect that they were giving Frida.
Oh yeah, no, this was amazing, and there will be, in the morning when you're getting up, you've slept okay-ish in the ruckus. There will be someone who's walking by there, a big orc, tusks sticking out, has apparently carved some notches in one of those tusks. A big braid of hair going down on the back. Has a axe on the back there. That was very impressive. Big warrior. Wanna make money?
Depends. What are you selling?
Points with this one has slightly longer nails, yellowish, almost claw-like. Points towards the big round house right there. Fights, huh?
Oh no, I don't do that.
Could earn more money. Champion, huh?
No, I don't do that. Thanks for the offer. But, I have other work I have to do.
See. Nods again.
Maybe
and-
next time.
Yeah. Is off.
She'll try and kind of soothe his pride a little.
Yeah, walks off.
Afraid I don't do that.
Right, so are we setting off again?
Fair.
To
Are we setting off, or are we taking the time to repair the shield and the spyglass?
yeah, that's the question.
I'd like to repair my shield if we have time.
Yeah, repairs are nice.
Yep. Okay.
What do I need to repair the shield? Do I need existing components or just the broken shield?
Well, yeah, you just well, it was shattered, wasn't it?
Yep, all of the dice pools were broken.
We have hide on us, though, don't we?
Yes, you do. You have a lot of-
Technically have. Yeah, we got some hide, and I got one iron ingot still in my inventory.
And I have
basically
claws to
your-
replace the antlers.
No, though they will not be replaced, alas. To make a small shield, because that's what it was, right? Was it? Oh, was it a large shield?
It was a large one. We
Okay,
made a new one
that's-
for Frida.
2 leather, 2 iron, 1 iron, and 1 wood.
The only thing we're missing is the wood, I think.
1/2
Oh,
actual
yeah.
leather.
Oh, no, we only have hide.
Yeah.
Hide,
Yeah.
not leather.
To make leather takes, let's see now, because you have pelts, right?
You can potentially trade.
Yeah. Leather requires pelts and the tanner talent, which you don't have, and a tailor shop. There might be a tanner in town that can convert. You sell pelts to them, and they sell leather to you.
Yeah. Is there a tanner in town?
Oh, for sure there is. There's everything here. Well, not everything, but enough. So they charge typically 12 copper for 1 leather, and
Big
they would
thing.
you would typically sell 1 pelt for 8 copper. So if you're selling 2 pelts, that's 16 copper, and then pay 12 of those for leather.
And if we have
While we're-
3 pelts, you can get 2 leather.
Yes.
While we're doing this, can I take the opportunity to learn?
Learn to be a tanner as well. You're gonna, if you could.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's gonna do it. You're the general crafter, aren't you? All the crafts. If the tanner in question is willing to teach you,
And big finagle them down a couple copper to maybe do a 1-for-1.
you can try. Manipulation, I'd call that.
If not, I'm willing to go ahead and pay silver to go ahead and also learn as they're going through.
That didn't go well for Big. You're willing to pay them a silver to take classes, basically.
Yeah, basically as they're
Yeah.
working at.
If you
So
pay a
how
silver,
much
they
would
will
it be?
take the time for sure. Yeah.
And then how much would it be for the material rate again? So it's 8 leather or 8 for the untanned,
Three
and
three
then 12 for the leather.
pelts for 2 leather is basically what it works out to.
Okay. So yeah, and then I'll pay them a silver to teach me as they're going.
And it's now the 21st of spring rise.
And I'm also doing my wits
Okay,
roll.
Soren is, but you don't have to roll the wits for that, with seeing as you're paying your way and
Okay.
getting a teacher that way. So
I'm still practicing with the bow, but not quite getting the hang of it.
yeah.
Tanner.
So that's new talents coming in. Anyone else want to take this morning and do some training?
Now all the stuff that I can work on is very expensive without a teacher.
Yes. And you'd need a druid.
Yeah.
There might not be terribly many in this place.
And it's not like I'm sitting on enough XP that I could pick up a side talent and still get that if we run into them this session /
Yeah,
next.
exactly. You'll in fact you're still wearing your sort of druids' vestments, aren't you? Like the golden bow druids do wear a sort of sign of their membership in their belt, which is basically a yellow stick. Would you be carrying something like that, Celestial?
Sorry?
Are you carrying a sign of your druid membership on yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm still a little bit new enough to the full indoctrinate. I'm like, yeah.
But you do want to stand out as a druid if someone.
Yes.
Yeah. So like the druids of the Golden Bow wear a yellow stick that's sort of hanging in their belt typically,
Yep.
or maybe pushed through in their cloak or robes.
I probably have it in the belt where you normally would have like your dinner dagger for cutting your meat.
Yeah. You will in fact be approached by a woman during this morning when your companions are busy doing other things. She's one of these larger, stronger ladies of this place, and like so many others here, she's wearing very heavy clothes, like pelts, bulky, and she's coming up and asking, excuse me, you seem to
yes.
be, are you by any chance a druid?
I am, yes.
Ah, that is interesting. She has a bit of a feral look on her. Where are you headed, if I might ask? You are with the Griffin Killer, are you not?
Yes, I am.
What
We're
brings
planning
you here?
we're planning to still pass around the rest of the lake after having run across some demonic energies and then the griffin on the lake, so we're searching the area in case there's a nest.
Now that's a lie, isn't it?
Oh god, yes.
Roll manipulation, if you please.
I'm gonna be terrible at this, but I accept that.
That's okay. Let's see now. I am going to roll her insight. I see, she says. She doesn't reveal anything
Yeah.
if she understood or not. I see, yes. As a druid, I'm sure you have a lot of work in these cursed lands. Demonic beings such as that are everywhere, it seems, these days. Your talents are in high demand, I'm sure.
Yes, it always seems to be plenty of work and not enough time in the day.
Yes. Would you be willing to work for hire at all?
That depends on the work, obviously, and the terms.
Yes. Well, as it turns out, I've heard. Rumor, of course. Gossip, if you will. People travel here a lot throughout from Arena Forest and elsewhere. Also the Foylenwood. I hear that Empress Soria is looking for someone of your talents. Someone who wants to make some coin could probably earn a good deal up in the Eye of the Rose.
Interesting. Did the rumors say why?
I'm afraid not. But it might have something to do with demons, as she's looking towards the griffin carcass.
It's quite possible, especially with the mountain so near, and I'm pretty sure that's where the griffin was roosting.
I would think so too, yes. And, as she leans in a bit, south of the Urher lands. It's not very far from the Rust Brothers.
No, this is true.
And I don't know if you've heard, but they're on the attack. The Rust Brothers.
They're
that is.
They're truly on the path again.
Oh yes, they've just attacked. We just heard the rumor yesterday. The Easier clan is under attack. The war has started.
It was only a matter of time, but it's still never pleasant news to hear it started.
I don't know how strong they might be and how ferocious the attack might be, but we know that they've already attacked the Easiers.
They rarely do things by half measure.
Rumors say terrible battle, many dead orcs. They say the Rust Brothers even bring them back from the dead and have them attack their own. Necromancers. Just like before the Blood Mist.
Such a foul art. Tainted.
Aye, that it is.
I thank you for these tidings and the lead on potential employment.
I think the Empress might pay you well, sir.
It
What?
may well be.
You have a good day now.
You as well.
And she leaves you to it.
The land be with you.
She leaves you to it. Obviously, she was well armed, such as everyone else here. Swords and daggers.
Not me.
Exactly. Well, what's Beeg doing while everyone else is doing these things with trade and so you're learning to be a tanner now, Brennar. That means that you're not actually fixing the shield yet.
Correct. That was only the first quarter day.
Yeah. So what is Beeg doing meanwhile?
I would definitely be going back to the fishermen, probably trying to find a fishmonger to help them bolster their sales from that. So we already sold the Griffin, right? So
Yeah, you can do that. And he had trouble selling some of the fish last night, but not too much. This morning he's selling the rest of his catch, and basically by noon he's going to leave, and he's looking you up and down. Well, Big, appreciate your help a lot. Pity we can't keep working together. You do have a way with sales, I'll give you that.
I may be small, but I'm living large.
Indeed. Whale be with you. Yeah, so the fishermen will set sail again in noon and leave.
Have a good day, sir.
B, were you gonna roll for repairing something? No, who was gonna repair the looking glass? Oh, that's Brenner again. You're doing all the craft.
He's our craft guy, he decided to, I'll do more crafts instead.
The thing is, he has a line of things that he has to fix now, and not enough time to do it in. Looking glass.
Frida actually has decent crafting.
Yeah, she does.
Frida can take a crack at it. At her own.
Yep, she can. She doesn't have to do it from scratch, right? So the looking glass can just be it's a simple craft roll.
You can do the looking glass in the afternoon if Frida wants to try the shield.
Either or, it doesn't matter.
Feels
I don't know
like
if
it's
you
going-
need
The shield sounds like it's more from scratch compared to
Yes.
look.
Oh,
the
okay.
shield would be
Yeah,
more
never
from
mind.
scratch, indeed.
I have to wait for the leather.
Yeah,
So I'll do the looking glass.
that works. That's a success. You give the looking glass a point of gear back.
All fixed.
Well, mostly fixed.
Mostly fixed. You can see something through it now.
Yeah.
You put the lens back in again. But it's a bit wobbly and not completely in focus.
Oh, still gotta tighten these cylinders back up the rest of the way at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so you're gonna stay another quarter day here?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Yeah, I think that's the case. Okay, I'll make my craft check to fix the shield.
Oh, that's not at all what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to continue practicing my arrows.
Fair enough. Ooh, look at that crafting. And Soren gets the hang of it. Has learned Path of the Arrow. Those extra skill dice there, successes on the skill roll, that's quite impressive. I'm sure you can do something with it. Crafting.
Did I make it a +3 instead of a +2?
Well, you're crafting something from scratch.
I don't have a high enough smithing. If I did, I could actually do that,
Okay.
technically.
Yeah, you have to have a higher level and you have to take a penalty.
Yeah.
Master. Yeah. Okay. Okay. There you go. Yeah. Well, anyway, you did get the shield done. So large shield +2.
All right.
You know what we haven't done this morning? What weather do we have today? D12, someone.
Sure, Frida will do it this time. Oh, never mind.
And a 2.
Hey. That's cloudy. No more raining.
Cloudy with a chance of griffin.
Not anymore.
Griffin balls.
Yeah, exactly.
So, are we gonna head out during the evening, or are we gonna stay one more night and head out in the morning?
That's the question.
We should probably stay one more night if there's griffins in the mountains.
There might be.
Really?
I really don't want to fight one of those things at night.
We're gonna have a fire nearby. Don't worry about it.
I can make it as bright as day.
Okay, whatever.
You can. You've spent 2 quarter days in this village. So,
You make the-
staying, leaving? What's the word? It will take you just longer than a quarter day to get there because you get 2 hexes in a quarter day and it's the 3rd hex.
That's fine. We can camp outside.
You could.
Yeah, if you guys don't mind leaving at night, I'd rather get out of this place sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed.
Alright, have you all eaten something today? And had a drink? Are you going to pay for it? Or are you not?
I'm gonna pay for my drink and see if I can buy a water skin while I'm here.
That
I'm
was
gonna
a
tuck
good
into
one.
my rations and my full water skin that I have.
Uh-huh.
It's not full of griffin blood.
Exactly.
This water sure is tasty.
Yeah, about that. Let's see now. Water skin is
3 silver.
yes.
So yeah, I'll pay the full rate.
Don't you already
Not
have
even
a
gonna
water
try and
skin?
haggle. Yeah, it's preoccupied, alright?
Do add that to
that's
your...
odd.
The old man just likes to throw money at things.
Listen, I paid for
That's
your rune
odd.
and board. You don't ask about what's in my water skin.
Crew and board, it was 2 copper.
Yeah, I still paid for it.
That's
Pretty
true.
sure
It's
Big
not
could
a-
have got it for free.
Look, I don't blame you. It's the first time we're not in a dry town in forever. I would fill up my water skin if I had an extra one too.
Thank you, Soren. Exactly. So, yeah,
Don't
I'm assuming I
encourage
can. Assuming I can easily find one to buy.
Do I still have access to the inn's kitchen?
Yes. By now, Odila will accept you, because that was one heck of a party, and she earned a good coin selling ale to everyone.
Okay. So I'm just gonna fry something up in the kitchen.
That's fine. She'll allow it.
I'm a grown-up. I'm having wedding
You're-
cake
you're-
for breakfast.
You're still you're still attracting people to her tavern just by being there, so because they want to have a look at the griffin killer.
Sure, I will be the zoo.
And while there being a zoo, I'll try and do a performance, see if I can get some coin in our coffers. Yeah.
Sure. You do that. That's a good idea. Why not? Look at that. 2 more silver. That's the collected sort of copper that is thrown at you as you're playing a nice little jig. And a lot of people here clearly have no habit with seeing halflings and are just, well, she can play. This is a merry little tune, isn't it?
Toss a coin to your demon slayer.
Exactly. Toss the coin to your halfling.
Toss a coin to your demon slayer. Oh, village of shanties. Oh, village of shanties. Whoa.
And so they do.
I do not dance.
But they do.
I like to think that while everybody is goofing around in town, Soren is on the outskirts, like sitting on a rock, just waiting. Since we had said we were going to leave, and kind of looking at his non-existent watch, tapping his
watching.
foot.
It's like, well, judging by the passage of the sun sword, they should have been here yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, if we just left them, they would be stuck here because it's not like they can survive in the wilderness.
This is true.
Use
I mean-
you.
Frida would make a good go of it, but in the end.
She would last longer than the other 2.
And we do know that Wolfkin will eat anything.
Yeah.
Or anyone.
Oh dear.
I mean, so will I, but in a different context entirely.
Is it a different context, though? Is it really?
This is the
In case you
question.
haven't figured it out by now, I am like the Wolfkin equivalent of a vegetarian, okay? I don't eat sentient beings.
Well, that's good. There's not many sentience in this party.
On the plus side, I guess I can put some weight on my ankle now, so
Yes, you can. It's been a few days, hasn't it?
yeah, it'll be better tomorrow.
Yeah. So,
Alright,
we are
off we go.
10 to 11 here. Do you want to do your trek through the woods and then we take a break? Or,
That sounds best, because then we're breaking
Yeah.
the dawn, or the night raid.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So,
I-
1/4 day of evening travel through Foylenmark Forest. That sounds healthy. Good for you. And this time, he leads the way. There is a bridge, as you might have seen on the Red Dale map, so it's not a hard thing to get across the river. And let's see now.
Yay, I've got my mojo back.
Yes, exactly. Who is keeping watch? Celestial? Are you gonna bang up your looking glass again?
Well, let's just say that that I won't push. Probably won't push it if I see damage on my ear.
It has taken a beating this trip, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'm not pushing that.
And nor do you have to.
No, thank goodness.
Hang on a sec, there's a little bit of a bend in it. it. There.
That's
Listen,
why the
I can
cylinders
fix
are loose.
things, but my hands are kind of big, okay? I can't get the little screws.
Exactly.
Oh, so many bad jokes.
Yep.
It seems to be tilted a little to the left.
Exactly. And lead the way through the second square there. Hex. Squares are mutant. It goes just splendidly. Soren has his groove back, clearly.
I'm just happy to put town and village behind us.
And
And then I realized, like, oh shit, I'm going to another one.
Yeah, but we're doing something and leaving as quick as we can once we've accomplished it.
And how is the scouting going there, Celestial?
Oh,
That's a lot of ones. But it doesn't matter because there are also successes. Hashtag roll that will not be pushed.
yeah, don't strain yourself there.
Yes, as you are... Now this is getting dark. And you are fairly confident that you're on the right track to get to the Eye of the Rose. Soren will have seen a lot of tracks, deer tracks, but also clear indications that some of these are not just deer tracks. They're actually walked up roads, if you will. You see, just by your tracking skill, these are boots, these are heavy iron shod footwear, lots of traffic, and as you follow that track and you move along that, you come to another place where there's even more such tracks, and they're leading together. It's not like someone has engineered these roads necessarily, but they've been used so much by people traveling back and forth that they're just roads now. And then, oh look, tracks of carts who've been that have been traveling along these paths, and they all lead in the direction you want to go.
I like to think the party can tell we're getting closer and closer to civilization because Soren is getting grudgier and grudgier.
It's still gonna be a good, number of kilometers away. You can't see the Eye of the Rose from here, certainly not in the dark. But Celestial will certainly see in the dark because they're carrying torches. It's a group of people walking along the road. They're coming from behind you, so they're wherever they came from. It must be northeast somewhere. And once you've pointed it out for the group, you will hear slash guttural. There's a guttural song coming, and they're drumming something. You can hear the sounds echoing over the forest. It's gotta be orcs, or
Well,
worse.
Sounds like a party from the Eye of the Rose.
Yeah. Well, we just let them pass.
Yeah, it's a group of orcs, all right. They're about a dozen, and in the middle of this group, they're singing as they walk. Two of these orcs are carrying a huge wooden stick, and there's one orc bound to this stick, hanging and trying to run after, dangling, helpless. It's some kind of prisoner transport. They pay you no particular heed, other than out of the way, as they march on down the road towards the very place, it seems, that you are headed.
Well, I will carefully watch the rest of the party because sometimes people get weird when there's prisoners or stuff involved.
So what's a prisoner? Is it what kind of creature?
He's another orc.
Ah, I'm less invested now.
Well, he undoubtedly did something wrong, and now he's been taken to his just punishments.
There's supposed to be an actual civilization to that city, so that means there should be a legal system of some kind. He won't just be summarily thrown in a pit.
Oh, maybe.
That's a big should.
Raynar laughs at that suggestion.
Doesn't matter. It's not me tied to the back of that post, so.
And in the end, if he's thrown in a pit unjustly, we'll be there tomorrow and find out.
True.
So is this where you will make camp without actually making camp because you don't have time for that because it's so late in the evening?
I mean, technically, we just follow them into town.
You could.
Yeah,
You'll get
yeah.
there in the middle of the night.
Yeah, we could just force march.
This one time.
Yeah.
It's not like we're gonna run across an opportunity to piggyback on another arm.
You have not
Armed
been
group
hiking
anytime
twice this day, so that's definitely you're gonna be tired because it's gonna be dawn by the time you get there.
No, then let's try and find a spot to actually camp.
Yeah.
Yep, let's camp.
All right.
Stupid orc blood.
Is Soren gonna make camp?
Yeah.
That takes another quarter day, mind you. So no, does it? No, I don't think. Oh, will. I think it does.
Not for Soren, I thought Soren had a talent to make camp or something.
No, I've got a talent so I can spend willpower to automatically succeed on pretty much all of these survival rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
That's why
making
I
camp,
think
I
last time we
believe
made
it does
camp when he was broken, I made the camp.
take a quarter day. So
Yeah, so we don't
Gosh.
have. We're not going to have time to find someplace safe to camp.
that's correct.
So we just crashed by the side of the road?
Yeah, and I don't know if we'll actually get any rest that way or not. So we can push onto the town.
I'm
and
gonna
definitely
say
tired.
that since you're not spending that time to make a camp, I'm gonna just automatically give you a mishap.
Excellent. Mishaps are fun.
So that would be
Especially since we're all too exhausted to do scouting.
yeah, exactly. Well, that depends on you. Someone should be sleeping, someone should be keeping watch, etc.
All right. Those of you that need to sleep. I'll keep watch. I'll be tired in the morning, but I don't plan to socialize with people anyway. So
All right.
So for the mishap. Oh, there we go. Oh, you have a terrible night, and you're spending the night trying to find good sleep, but there's always a root in your back or a stone in your arm or something like that. It's just impossible to find good sleep in this spot.
I will get one on my scouting.
Yep, you're at least not being ambushed without you recognizing the threat before that happens. And it is 11. Let's see now.
So I imagine then we're all going to be tired and bedraggled when we drag our carcasses into
Pretty
the Eye
much.
of the Rose.
Yes, this is true. You will be indeed. But there was nothing that threatened you during that night, at least.
Cranky Wolfkin is just cranky.
Yes, Cranky Wolf.
Just gonna burn it all.
It's the start of the 22nd of Spring Rise. I get it too. You traveled from Westport on the 21st. You spent the on the 20th. You spent the 21st in most of it in Red Dale, and now it's the 22nd. Now, that's where it's 11 o'clock. Everyone. So next day, on this 22nd, as you scramble in, you will finally reach the Eye of the Rose. Tired, exhausted, but you will be there. And we will see what happens there next session. And
folks.
we do have another epilogue, because something else happened in the Eye of the Rose before our intrepid adventurers got there. At about the time when you reached Westport, in fact. So, yes, that's what's going to happen. And I'll hand you out all the XP later on chat, as always. And we'll see what happens in the Eye of the Rose when you now finally get there in 2 weeks from now. That's going to be interesting. All right, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Night.
Thanks, night, guys.
Have a
Good night.
pleasant
Thank you.
evening. Go with joy.
There we go. All right. So, it is Spring Rise the 18th. Around, well, it's going to be around mid-morning, I should say, when messengers arrive to the Empress, carrying news from the north. A dwarf troop is approaching, and it has sent a message. I'm going to say, because obviously when the troop that Tormund is marching with, the Honor Guard, is marching with, arrives close enough to the Eye of the Rose, there will be an orc troop there to ask about his errand, given that he's bringing his Honor Guard. They have armor, they have weapons. Orcs will want to know about his errand to these lads. So what message can be sent to the Empress?
The Empress of the Ur, Lady Sarai, she should know why I am here. And I expect an audience with her.
Very well.
Immediately.
That is the short little note, the short little message that the orc messenger carries to the court. The Emperor will want to be a part of this audience, of course, being that this is a foreign dignitary. But will still also want the Empress by his side, of course. But Tormund Halfhand is approaching. That much is clear.
So Soria will have the receiving hall prepared in as much grand splendor as she can. And of course her husband will be there and will be happy to receive him.
Indeed. And you will be dressed in all the regalia. And of course you will also have your advisors there, because it's kind of hard to avoid having them around. And that includes the human Hrangagala, who's always lurking nearby when Hroka wants to do business like this. And he's all sorts of draped in all the knickknacks that he usually dresses in to seem like a highly qualified advisor and counselor to the Emperor. His sinister smile might suggest that he might not be. Be that as it may, it will take another hour or so until the actual delegation arrives to the Eye of the Rose. And of course Tormund will then see what this once proud elven city now looks like. A restored ruin, if you will. The orcs are doing their level best to restore it to some kind of glory. But there's still much work to be done. Most of the orcs in this settlement live below the actual fortress, down by the ruins of the city, and many of them have simply put up whatever shacks or tents or whatever other type of makeshift abode that they could design for themselves there. But up in the actual fortress, of course, is the court. And here are the proudest of the orc warriors assembled as a bodyguard and personal army of Emperor Hroka the First and the Greatest. The advisor Hrangagala himself will be the first to meet Tormund and the dwarves by the gates of the fortress, you will be escorted by an orc guard, of course, befitting your dignity and station. They are powerful and strong, these ones. And so you are led into the actual court of the Emperor and the Empress. They sit by, I'm gonna say, their thrones. What does it look like in there?
So much of the elven make has tried to be restored as best as it could, but you can tell that there's been a lot of we'll say leeway given to the orcs and to incorporate some of their own design. You know, most orcs don't have the same kind of craftsmanship as dwarves do, so their attempts are not probably to your eye as good as they should be. But Soria is seated at the throne. She will stand when you arrive. She passes for human for the most part, and she's dressed in very typical majestic dress attire. And her husband, Hiroka, is next to her. He's a very large, imposing orc, and he tends to over embellish himself a little more than Soria does. So he's sort of decked out in all of the royal garb and probably a little more than is quite necessary. And the same goes to say about the throne room itself. It is probably a little bit ostentatious, shall we say, as opposed to appropriate. So, but they will have you in, and they will offer you refreshments and welcome you
Yeah,
here.
and there you go. Yeah, I guess I
Empress
look
has
and
a beautiful cloak with a great brooch, a shining ruby set in the middle. And the Emperor
Okay.
has some of the most imposing tusks that you might have seen.
Okay.
Oh, and there is Thorman might notice this, but the gift from Boarwolf is set in the room as well, the carving that he sent with him.
Sorry, the gift from
Boarwolf?
Yeah. I don't remember sending a gift. I'm sure I did.
He got a gift, so it's there.
Okay, good. So yeah, big tusk and all is, I guess, is impressive. But I guess the ruby that you're wearing in your, what was it, in your
It's a
garment
cloak.
is more impressive. And otherwise, when I look around, I guess like this is what Orc Splendor looks like, and they done the best that an orc can do to bring this place back to its former splendor. You know.
Oh, you'll also notice that while the room is primarily filled with male orcs, as far as the guard, Soria has a few female handmaidens in waiting, and the women tend to have a very different air and appearance than the men.
Indeed, yeah. Though the women are much more human-like, the men are would not be able to pass for human at all. They're taller, broader, have almost tufts of fur along their necks, and if they're showing their shoulders, and of course the tusks. So certainly not human-like in any way.
Well, Thormund and his honor guard are undeterred. Well, they wouldn't. They look very calm and try to look as comfortable as possible standing there. And I should probably point out that I got my sage with me, Goldbeard, Volkmar. And yes, I'm standing there, silent, waiting for whomever is going to speak to me.
Hrangagala will introduce you to each other, announcing Tormund half-hand of the Maromanian clan as you march in. Behold, the Emperor Hroka, the first and the greatest, and his Empress Soria. And then he bows deeply to the majesties. And then he sort of slinks around on the side and tries to come up next to the Emperor.
Welcome, Tormund.
Thank you, Empress of Orcs. As I said in my message, I do believe you know why I'm here.
I am saddened by the loss of Borwolf. I had a good conversation with him, and his loss shall be felt.
It is felt indeed.
I hope that you have received the aggressor, and he has been properly punished in your court.
See, that is where we want some more a clear view on it all. As far as we know, why he killed Beowulf, we do not know. All we know is that Beowulf was under your protection when he died. And therefore we are expecting some kind of recompensation for this.
This is true. We have sent the aggressor. It is not known why he did what he did, though he appeared quite mad, and it is my belief that there might be other things at play that I cannot see. As for recompense, what do you wish?
Something that would be, what would be of equal value and to honor us for this, as you say, probably, and we're going to have to assume a mistake, and we want to be properly recompensated, so we feel that this was a mistake and it's worth our while to come here, and that we can bury our friend and comrade with the proper honor that he deserves. And whether it would be in resources, a future deal, or and even some kind of personal trinkets. I'm looking at the clip you have there I'm wearing on you. I don't want to be the one to tell you what you should depart with.
Well, I sent you. We have sent you with the aggressor so that you may punish him in your court. We withheld our own rage here so that you may have that honor. And I do believe I also sent some goods as well to help offset the loss of Beowulf. And I also sent some funds to his family, though I know it will not replace his loss. However, if you feel that these are not enough thus far, I am willing to open negotiations, just as I did with him, to discuss the future of our two peoples. As you can see, we have a plethora of resource goods here, but our funds are not as enticing as perhaps you yourself have. But if you would like to discuss this in more detail, I would recommend that we speak in more private settings.
Private setting is okay for me, yes.
Soria will start dismissing her people.
Yeah.
Particularly the human. She wants the human gone.
He will look a little bit bewildered and annoyed, but of course he can't resist the will of the Empress. And so, but your Majesty, surely my advice on all things dwarven lore will come in great hand for you, yes?
Yes, I think it is very intelligent for you to take my husband and educate him all about the dwarves so that he may come back and discuss this as well. And when I tell him what has happened, he will have the full knowledge at his bearing. Go.
So
take
by
him
now I do know who has the real power around here.
Rangagala will reluctantly agree to this when Hroka stands up. Come, Ranga, tell me everything about Dwarven Door so I can treat our guests proper. And so
okay, yeah, it is preferable that we speak like this, where misplaced words could have bigger repercussions if spoken in public.
Soria will keep a couple of her handmaidens here, but she'll otherwise dismiss the rest of her folks as long as you're comfortable with that. You can keep a couple guards as you'd like.
Sure. I keep Volkmar, only Volkmar with me. That's enough. The honor guard will stand in a respectful distance. They can even be outside the hall. Doesn't matter really. Wherever they can stand without being an interference for us.
And which one is Volkmar? The sage?
Yeah, that's a sage. Yeah. Okay. So he will be my advisor, I would say. Yeah. So regarding the Ark, they killed Boarwolf. I don't care about this Orc.
It is not the Orc that is of the concern. I believe he was improperly influenced by magic. That individual was not mad prior to this occurrence. And after the death of Boarwolf, he is quite mad.
And that is what we believe too. Both me and Volkmar have come to the conclusion that there was some kind of magic involved here, and that might have affected him. However, how can that be that this happened when it happened and under your protection? And what can we do about this?
If you have any ability to sense this kind of magic or trace it to where it might have come from, I would be greatly interested in that, because we do not have such abilities. And my advisor, the human, is not, we'll call him adept at these sorts of things.
Is Volkmar a stone singer? Remind me.
I don't even know what a stone singer is, to be honest, but he is
dwarven magic user.
Let's say yes.
Okay. Because it makes sense as a seer, they're very much revered that way in dwarven society, and because they're the people who can basically shape mountains without pickaxes. They just reach out to the earthen element and shape it. And in history, there are legends about how the dwarves, when they really want to do something really grand, can raise entire mountains. And they did so to block the human incursions from the older lands centuries ago. Though that takes, a huge effort from all dwarf clans altogether, which that's not going to happen very often. Certainly not now. But as a stone singer, Volkmar can interject slightly in the conversation and say, well, you understand, Your Majesty, it is not always easy to uncover magic. Certainly not from nefarious sorcerers who are in defiance of the will of the gods. It is possible to do so if it is not used and invoked in too distant a place. But that would require someone who has managed to move by stealth into dwarven lands.
Well, it is not for me to understand the will of such things. However, I have attempted to. I will level with you, Thormund, if I can be so bold. I have attempted to make numerous diplomatic efforts around this area, particularly with the wars we have on the far borders and the stirring of tensions that we have had on ours. These efforts have been incredibly difficult. And I had thought that we were finally making headway with Boarwolf, and then his passing. That event, I do not believe was coincidental. I believe that there are outside forces that are attempting to create large-scale wars, and for what purpose or reason, I don't know. But I do not wish this to drive a wedge between our peoples. And I would very much like to continue to broker the peace that Boarwolf and I spoke of quite plainly. So if I may be so bold, we would be willing to offer your clan logging rights within our forest. It is probably the most valuable thing that I can offer. Our timber is better than anything else you will find around here.
What I can say is the deal has to be in such a way compensate that I can tell my fellow clansmen that a war is not needed, because that is what they demand. They see this as an opportunity to wage war. They are sitting tired and they are upset in their halls, just waiting to go out there and wage war upon whoever gives them the opportunity. So if we're going to have a peace, it's going to be a peace brokered by something they would understand is of equal value for his death.
Should we go to war now, because I have people among my court who are wishing the same thing, we will open our lands to further incursions. And you and I both know that this is not our only border that we have to worry about. We have other enemies on other sides, and I am the least of your concerns. But I do understand the loss of a diplomat, and I would be incredibly saddened had my own diplomat been killed in such a way. So I understand that. I am willing to extend trade routes. Beowulf and I had discussed that before he passed, and I do believe that that would be of great benefit to both of us, particularly allowing you to pass through my territory unencumbered, to go elsewhere as you please. We can establish trade routes. I can grant you logging rights along your border edge there to certain territories only for your clan, and my clan will stay out of it. And outside of that, I don't know that there is much more I can offer you besides an open hand and a willingness to engage in further diplomacy. Beowulf and I had discussed the possibility of mine sending a diplomatic guard as well to your people. That was my intent before all of this happened, but after it did, I did not think it appropriate for me to send any orcs back into your territory. I would be willing to establish or work to establish a permanent embassy of sorts as well in both areas. I do believe strongly that we could both benefit from further exposure, that if you got to know the her and what we really are like, you would find us much different than maybe many of your people believe orcs are.
Now, while I do really appreciate what you're offering, I think what we need, if I put it like this, my fellow Meriminians, they would like to see you lose face. I'm not going to go that far, but could you please tell me a bit more about that ruby that you're wearing? Because it seems to be very personal and dear to you.
It was a gift from my husband. It is akin to what humans call a wedding ring.
And how would you feel about departing that gift?
Are you married, Thormund?
No.
Asking a woman to part with her wedding ring is a great way not to get married.
Well, you can see then why it's such a valuable thing as a part of the negotiation for us, because that would prove that you've actually sacrificed something.
The bloodstone clasp is not on the table for negotiations on my end. And if that is the only reason that you have come here, then I am very sorry to disappoint you.
I guess it takes it's going to take further negotiation to come to a mutual agreement here. But let's start off with what you already offered and say we are interested in that. And how we take this further, we might want to have think over this about this overnight, and but also as we both want to know who was the person that did this murder, why did this happen. That is something we both want to know, and that on that point we are on the same side, I believe.
Yes.
My best guess, interjects Volkmar again, is some sorcerer who could bind magic of illusions into an object, and then that spell was triggered at the right time, I think. We spoke of voices, didn't we not, Thormund?
We did.
Yes.
Voices were pointing out that there was hatred that created this murder.
Indeed. So, I think it was a voice that was bound into, by tricks of illusion, into a magic object, and then somehow the spell was activated at the right time. I do not know how that was done. Wherever I was, the magic must have been obscured, for I sensed nothing.
Would it aid you to review the items that the orc had on him and around him at the time? He was stripped of all of those things, but he did have a room, and those items are all boxed up.
Only if there is still magic present. If it has already been activated, the energies will have dissipated by now.
Would the sorcerer in question have to have been present here in my court, or could they merely have sent this object in at some point?
They could have sent it.
I'll check with my writers and see if anything odd was brought in that set them off and delivered to the individual.
Indeed.
What kind of object could have been the source for this magic? Could it be any kind of object?
Yes, whatever the sorcerer wants to bind it in. It could be potions, it could be... there are many fabled magic artifacts in these lands. Swords, scepters, even mundane objects that do not look special on the outside can be used.
So either this orc of yours received an item that was cursed, or somebody got in and cursed an item he already owned.
That is possible. It is unlikely that someone could have gotten in here who was not an orc. You tend to stand out. But I will look for both, and I will have the boxes of his items and belongings sent to you. And why don't you consider our offer, and I'll speak with my writers and see if anything has been brought in recently.
I'm fine with that, yes.
I'm just going to have a quick look on one detail here, because I just recalled something. If I recall correctly... let's see now. General spells. Yes, I do recall correctly. Yes, the sorcerer would have been powerful. Binding magic such as this is difficult.
A powerful sorcerer means a powerful enemy.
No mere apprentice could have done something like this.
So who could be our common enemy?
There are many people who wish to see war. As I said, it is my belief that there are outside forces at play here that wish to make war, particularly on our region, which is right now at a tenuous peace. And the other borders that I deal with, Tormund, are less stable in some ways than yours. And yours has tension among it. I can only imagine that on the other side of you, you deal with your own issues as well. Naturally. And I think that if we go to battle, we take our eyes away from the Rust Brothers and other things, and that is exactly what they want.
May I ask, says Volkmar again, you do live closer to General Achra's border.
You do.
We've heard from our traders that there are some rumors about succession problems. Have these been settled yet?
My very best diplomat is en route and should be arriving there if she has not already. And she is to settle these issues. I hope to have word back from her in a few days. And if you are still here at this time, I will be happy to relay that information to you.
Volkmar bows.
Thank you. Well, so far so good in this negotiation, I think. I think what you're suggesting is something I can accept. I will stay here overnight, and if possible, if you could have collected all these items, I can go through them together with Volkmar, and we will be heading back in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Soria will gather everything up and have it sent to you. And Mikael, she'll also check for any news among her writers about things that could have been brought in and given to the orc in specific that did the deed. So if we can get any information there, particularly if the courier can come speak to us about what was delivered.
Great. Yeah,
And also, was this orc married or have any family? Was there anyone around him at the time that all this went down?
Well, as part of the war band, he certainly attracted his share of temporary lovers. But other than that, no steady partner that anyone would have known of.
Did he have any temporary lover with him that night? Or the night before that he went?
Might have had the night before, yeah.
Can I acquire her
You
to come
can
speak with
indeed.
us?
Yeah.
Okay, well then, if the next morning, if Thormund is willing, depending upon what other information we receive, I'll bring the girl in to question her
Yeah.
in his presence.
Yeah. And of course, Thormund will be able to ask questions of her as well. She will seem mostly confused and have no idea what this is all about. She describes the encounter in as much detail as you want. But other than that, she's just really surprised, because these kinds of liaisons with warband warriors is par for the course. It's very
Did
common.
he seem normal? Did he act normal otherwise?
She said so, yeah.
Did he mention anyone talking to him?
No, not at all. I mean, aside from
Whispers?
No, she doesn't seem like there seems to be absolutely nothing out of the ordinary that for that.
He doesn't
encounter.
mention the dwarves that were staying with us?
Well, that he was on guard duty every once in a while, yeah, during his shifts.
Did he mention any specific hatred or malice toward them?
You know, now that you mention it, he was not too impressed with having dwarves around, and said that he boasted that he could defeat any one of them easily, as the great warrior he was. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
That's not uncommon.
Let's not say that if she wasn't involved anyway, and if he was his normal self, there was something that triggered him. As Volkmar said, an item of magic that triggered at a particular instance. Where exactly did he get killed?
Right here in his room. Borwolf's room was in the diplomat suite. I had
are there
upgraded.
any items here that could have been of suspicion for being triggered?
I don't know, Mikael, did I get any information on new objects being brought in to anyone's room or given to the aggressor orc at all? Or does the woman here, does she know anything about, did he receive any gifts that night, perhaps from admiring fans or tokens?
Let's see now. You know, there was one of these regular tournaments that they were doing, and he won himself a dagger. Yeah.
He did win himself a dagger.
Yeah, he did.
Well,
and it's
when was
rumored
that?
that this dagger was of elven make.
So, could we please bring forth the dagger and the person that gave the dagger as well?
Nobody
I
seems to recall who might have shared this dagger. It was one of those prizes in one of the typical, almost gladiatorial-like combats that these the warband engages in regularly to test their mettle and gain pride and glory when there's no war going on. But it seems hard to track down who might have, at least within the short period of time, who might have provided this dagger. But it can be produced because it was among his belongings. He had put it on a place of honor in his by his quarters. As a warband warrior, he slept in a dormitory often. But it was there over his bed, and it's a pretty thing, even for dwarf eyes. I mean, they have a strange aesthetics. The elves do, all too many curves and intricate sort of ornaments on them to be perfectly, utility focused. But otherwise, it's a good blade, for sure. In terms of mechanics, it would probably add another gear die to your bonus because of its very nice balance.
Well, I look at it and then I hand it over to Volkmar and see what he has to say about it.
He examines it and will, in fact, invoke the powers of the stone and try to sense any type of magic in it, but because he does say sometimes magic can be hidden by spells. But even then, he cannot detect any particular sorcery.
Well, we might be one step closer to solve this, or we might not. But, Surya, one thing is clear, and that is we both benefit from solving this riddle. So if I find any clues from while I'm back in my fort, if anyone else finds anything of interest, I'll let you know.
Do you wish to continue relations and have me send my diplomat once she is done with her current assignments?
Please send her over, yes. Are we talking, who will you send?
Her name is Akane. She is my most loyal. And I do believe that you should take this dagger with you for further study. I have a sense that there is something about it.
We will take this dagger, and we will also question the orc about the dagger.
Yes, and I will continue to attempt to find who added this dagger to the prize pool, as it were. I wish it did not go like this, Thormund. I wished that I was finally making progress, and I do not wish this to derail the progress and create more trouble for us both. I feel that we already have enough trouble on our borders, and we do not need anything further.
Well, we might make progress yet. We still don't know what's behind this, but if this might even unite us if it came to that. But so far, we are in negotiation, and that's one step further from understanding each other, I think.
And at that point, you're actually abruptly disturbed by an intense knock on the door of this council chamber. This is Springrise 19th now. It's the next day, as you said. And you can hear someone, "Empress! Word! Tidings have reached us from the south!" There's someone who is clearly alarmed and wants to share news. So this messenger, who is a very small orc, that's... the smaller orcs get to do other things than fight in wars, comes in, drenched in sweat. My lady, your majesty, looks towards the dwarf. Maybe aside, tidings from the south.
Okay. Excuse me one moment. I'll go off to the side room.
Yeah. A message from your people in Voltar. The Rust brothers have attacked.
Of course they have.
There is a war in the arena forest.
All right. Mikael, where is this in location to the rest of the orc tribes?
I can show you on the map.
Yeah, let me pull up a map.
Yeah.
Or are you going to share your screen?
I can share your screen because I can do that.
Yay.
Wow.
Ta-da! So this is Votar. That's the headquarters of the Aesir clan of orcs.
That's the general, correct?
Eldog the Ravager. The
Oh,
general
Eldog.
So General Achra is up here with the light blue, and I gave the Aesir clan the black pennants.
Okay, gotcha.
So apparently there has been some kind of hostilities, and that's what the messenger is saying, coming up from the south here, and that's why this pennant is brown in Rust Brother color.
Okay.
They're all around me. I don't like that.
Or black.
I see.
Eldog is the buffer between Urhur and the Rust Brothers.
Yes, well, this is what he gets for not being very nice to me, okay?
So that's the situation.
I love it. Okay. I dismiss this guy.
Yep.
Wait, have they asked for reinforcements?
No.
Have they made any request of us?
No. They just mobilized their troops.
I return to Thormund and I say there has been a Rust Brother attack along Eldag's borders. They are making headway into these lands, and you can be assured that if they overrun the orcs, they will come for you next.
Yeah, the Rust Brothers are the worst kind of humans.
Yes. I need to speak to my husband, and I am going to mobilize a troop to send reinforcements, whether Eldag wants us to or not. But they can wait in the ready then for his call. Excuse me, I need to make some quick preparations. And Soria will message Mikael privately.
I don't know. I can continue on for another 10 minutes, I guess, before I should leave. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure
Right,
we'll be able to.
She'll make her plans then to attempt to help with Eldag, and then she'll return to Thormund and say, I apologize for our social call getting interrupted with such tidings. I will try to keep you apprised of the situation there, as well as with the general and his succession. My diplomat was intending to go elsewhere after she met with the general, but I will recall her and send her to your court as the next step, if that is acceptable to you.
Yes. Can I ask a question? Why are the Rust Brothers attacking you from the south? Do you know their motivation?
I know that they are insane humans bent on destruction and conquest. I do not know the reason for attacking Eldag and his people currently. I know that he has been dealing with them in small skirmishes, but to wage such a force as to take one of the smaller villages, why now? No, I don't know. I can only assume that they sense a weakness along his border, and I believe that they have every intention of pushing toward my lands and moving forward from there.
What do you think are their ultimate goal then?
Enslavement and conquering.
Yeah, as ever with the humans.
Well, we all have our troubles with slavery, don't we?
I wouldn't say so, no.
Volkmar will look distinctly uncomfortable.
I will keep you abridged of our progress there, and I will also start drawing up the paperwork to have the necessary trade routes and things established. But should the Rust Brothers continue their push, it will be difficult to maintain any kind of trade at that point. So I will have to work to squash this now with Eldag, if he will.
Yeah. Now, this is not a war of ours unless you or they make it so. But until that time, I wish for a success in the war for you.
Thank you. Thank you. If they come close to our borders, you can be assured I will reach out to you, because I do not believe they will stop with us. They will come for you next.
Please do
They
that.
spread
and we
over
can
this land like a
discuss-
plague.
Yeah, and then we can discuss a solution to this plague further.
Very good.
Okay.
I wish you luck with that dagger. I hope you can discover the sorcerer who did this and who wishes to incite violence.
I will let you know whatever I find out. And I trust you do the same.
I will.
Okay.
And so, the two leaders of their respective people part ways for this time. Excellent. I suppose that's
Excellent,
end
yeah.
scene, if you will.